Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. See, I was driving over the moon in my big hot air balloon, floating high into the darkness. I hope I get there soon. There's so many things to do, so many people I need to talk to, and they've all been waiting for me. Well, I gotta make it through. Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. Thank my stars for every green. You have no idea what it means. No, no. To a man who's always traveling, who's seen the things that I've seen. I don't know what's yet to come. Not sure of anything that I've done really makes that much a difference. Well, I hope it has for some. Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. Well, I was driving over the moon in my big hot air balloon, floating high up in the darkness. I promise that I'll make it to you very soon. Something special happened today.
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, we in here on a Sunday. Open your Bibles to 3 Corinthians 3:16. I'm just playing. We up in here on a Sunday. I wanted to do Saturday, but it didn't work out for me. I wasn't able to get on Saturday, so I said, you know what, I'm going to make up for this bad boy on a Sunday. So yeah, we here. I vowed to do 5 days a week, no matter what. Well, 5 days. Well, the week starts on Sunday, but I'm still counting it. In my mind, it starts on Monday because that's, the work week, the school week. So I still count Sunday in my mind as a part of the previous week. That's just how I operate. So yeah, that's how I more or less plan to roll. 5 days over a 7-day period. That'll make it simple. 5 days over a 7-day period. So I didn't want to just do 4 days. So I had to get one more in. So it ended up having to be Sunday. So here we are. New in the building. He says, "Oh damn, Bernard, on a Sunday, people going to be in church with their earbuds on." I've been there, done that. Not at church. Places where you shouldn't have earbuds in. Well, no, that wasn't a church. It was actually at a funeral. Yeah. Shouldn't have did that. I needed to hear something, though. It was real important. But anyway, Mace Taggart in the building. What's going on? Salutes. He says, "Salute, fam." He says, "New salute, fam." He was just speaking to New. He just said, "Fuck everybody else." He only hollering at New. Aaron B in the building. What's going on? What's up? Terrence B in the building. Excalibur Melody in the building says, "Like on the way in." Definitely. My man Mace Taggart says, "Bernard Riley, thank you for getting me through my days on dialysis." Definitely, man. Definitely glad I could be of service, do anything to help you through the tough times, man. Glad I could help pull you through. Definitely. And also Pop Smoke and Ghost says, "Too little, too late." Too little, too late. Talking about Democrats now, talking about how they losing black men. It's interesting too because I'm going to play a clip from Roland Martin. They were talking about that on there, and I want to speak more on Roland Martin and why he's important to this overall thing. We talk a lot about black male media. You really can't get more black male media than that. I mean, he was, working with the mainstream media, came to YouTube, did his own shit. Black man. He only have black people on the show. Is liberal, but he do try to bring some black conservatives, particularly black male conservatives, on there. So Roland Martin is the real deal. He knows his shit. People talk about how Angela Stanton kicked the ass of the Breakfast Club. Well, 2 months before she went on the Breakfast Club, she went on Roland Martin and tried to do the same shit. And Roland Martin had counter punches for all that shit. Like, Roland Martin is good. He know his shit. And so yeah, Roland Martin is that deal. Roland Martin is no doubt that deal. But he's very liberal, and this is a very conservative space. A lot of people have been challenging that notion and that concept, and I like some of the challenges. Me and MOT had an excellent one-on-one. I recommend people go back and listen to that one where he broke down a lot of this shit. I remember it wasn't that show, it was a previous show. I think Nagone hopped on. He said a lot of good stuff, and I think that conversation carried over to, I believe, the Black Brain Trust, where Nagone went on there and he said a lot of good shit, breaking down, the problem with black conservatives. And I have my problems and my issues with it as well. I think we can look at some aspects of what they do and then turn around and say that, hey, even if they don't give a fuck about black men, this getting rid of illegal immigrants will indirectly help black men. So maybe we should use them. And then there's the counter arguments of what have they ever done? We're gonna get into all that. What have they ever done for black men? But if we've basically shown them our ass and said we're not gonna vote for you, then why should they do something for us? All those questions are out there. And I like that Roland Martin is digging into that. So we're going to get into it. Nick he's kind of touching on what I was already talking about here. He says black men voting for the anti-black male alt-right will not help with shit. Black men need to boycott by voting down ballot. Interesting point. Rather than getting laughed at. I think he said laughed as. I think he mean laughed at for backing the fucking haters of black men. Laughing my ass off. Now, it is some truth in what you're saying, because I do side eye the gung-ho, woohoo, make America great again, hat wearing Negroes. I'm like, there are things in the Republican Party that we can look at, that we could say, hey, black men can benefit from that. And we could look at the Democratic Party and everything they're doing for black people and say, hey, mostly black women benefit from that. So we can look at the Democratic Party and say they ain't really for black men. And we can look at the Republican Party and say they clearly not for black men. But we can look at which one we're going to benefit from the most. Black men are going to benefit from the most. And we can align with that, vote with that, and make a show of, I think it's a show of, I don't know if strength is the right word, but it's definitely a show of, we're here and we're not just default following the Democrats. Black women are just by default going to follow Democrats, but black men, you can talk to us. We're not automatically going that way. We could be won over. And now let's talk. I think that says a lot. Just us not going Democrat. Even if we do what you're saying, even if we do what you're talking about, by voting down ballot, a lot of people voted Green Party last election. There are ways to there are ways to not just put on the Make America Great Again hat, but still send a message at the ballot box. That's the simple point I'm trying to make. So in that sense, I'm with you. I don't think there's nothing wrong with us voting Republican. But the guys who are just full blown, just gung ho with the Make America Great Again hat on, I'm like, what America are you talking about? Are you talking about in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was talking about Make America Great Again? Because if he was talking about Make America Great Again in the 80s, that means he was saying it must have been great in the 60s, Jim Crow. So he was talking about going back to Jim Crow. And Ronald Reagan was talking about Make America Great Again in the 80s. So what great is Donald Trump talking about going back to the 80s when Ronald Reagan was talking about making America great again? Like what is he talking about? I remember Candace Owens did that with T.I. when they started to say it was racist. The Make America Great Again slogan was racist. And she said, well, was it racist when Ronald Reagan said it? It was more racist then. It was more racist when Ronald Reagan said it because it was closer to Jim Crow when he was saying it. It was closer to the civil rights movement when he was saying it. He was talking pre-1965. So it was more racist then. So yeah, all of those things matter. All of those things matter to the conversation. Dollar Washer, I'm gonna accidentally skip your super sticker, man. What's up? What's going on? Salute to you. Thank you for dropping in the first one in there. Drop something in the collection plate on this Sunday. We passing the collection plate. Thank you for hitting that super chat. Appreciate that. I got this finally working where I could see the YouTube live chat in real time. So when y'all go to clowning in the chat, I'm going to catch you motherfuckers. When you go to deleting and timing out people and blocking people for no reason, I'm going to see it now. I finally got this set up just right. If you can't see what I'm talking about this tablet that I got sitting right here. That's how I'm going to be watching the chat for now. That's how I'm going to be doing it for now. I'm going to be keeping an eye on you Negroes. Going forward. But shout out to Early Bird Squads, those that made it in bright and early. Dropped a comment before the show even got started. He said, Perfect Billy says, what's up with this old nigga music? I like old nigga music, man. I be grooving the old nigga music. You don't know nothing about that old nigga music, man. Get you. If you ain't with it, you ain't with it. You ain't with it. But yeah, Aloe Black. I rocks with Aloe Black. I rocks with Aloe Black. So yeah, if you can't rock with it, I wasn't gonna have rap in my intro. That ain't really my style. Listen to some rap. Like I done quoted Jay-Z to make a point plenty of times on here. So I rock with Jay-Z. I love the 444 album. That was a grown man ass album where he was talking about grown man shit, you know. I don't know what I would have done in the future other niggas playing football with my son. Like that's the shit that you go through when you and you married, you and your wife, y'all about to split, y'all about to break up. You got to think about all that, And, it was some grown man thought process in there. When I was fighting for custody and shit, that's the shit that was in my mind. I just can't just be an off to the side every other weekend dad, and they seeing, and she end up in another, a stable relationship with somebody, it's some other motherfucker they seeing more than me. Fuck that. That's why I rock with Jay-Z. It's like his lyrics have matured over time. He's rapping about shit that, grown middle-aged men go through. So that's why, so it's some rap I can listen to. So all of it I can't rock with, but some of it I definitely they got to be rapping about something. Let's just put it like that. That's where I draw the line. Who else we got in here? Let's see. We about to dig into the topic. I did see another super chat come through. There we go. Tyrone Miles. He said, "Why not start your own party and push your own agenda?" I hear you. And we talked about that. On this show before. We talked about that on this show before. Black men starting their own party, sort of like the Tea Party, which was it's something to that. It's something to that where you start your own party, you draw out what your agenda is, but really what it is whichever one of the other parties is willing to truly meet that agenda, you'll vote for them. Because if you start your own little small party, if we start a black man party, then even if we get black women, we're talking 13% of the population. We're not going to win with 13% of the population, but our agenda will be out there strong and tough. And if somebody wants to pull us, they know what they got to do in the general election. So there's that. So yeah, good shit. That's something that definitely has to get put on the table. But without further ado, I'm gonna roll that beautiful bean footage that I came here to roll because I saw something that I found interesting. Let me get rid of this. Y'all can't see the thing that I'm getting rid of, so I don't know why I'm telling y'all that I'm getting rid of it, but I'm getting rid of it. And I'm doing this. Gotta do a little clickety clack right there. Click, clack, boom. Right there. Where are we at? Right there. There she blows. Black Men of America PAC. I like that. Okay, I'm seeing the jokes. I'm seeing the little jokey jokes. She said I did pretty good on TNT the other day. That's him saying I look like Draymond Green. Y'all be killing me with that one, but man, I hear that. Oh shit, I hear that all the time. Damn, what am I trying to do here? Yeah, there we go. I hear that all the time, man. The Draymond Green thing. It's crazy. And I disagree with it, but I just got to accept it because so many people say it. People that never saw me before, white people, because Draymond Green, he's actually from my hometown. So that has a lot to do with it too, because it's he's a local homegrown hero, hometown hero around here. So people see him, they see me, and they say I look like him. So I get that all the time. Out here. I'll read this before I play the tape. He said, well, OU Capping says, it's pretty simple. We need to go guerrilla warfare. What do you mean by that? He says, we don't vote for anyone till they start putting tangibles on the table. We're not getting anything from either party anyway. That's a good way to look at it, and that's a good way to go about it. But if it's done strategic, that's why people are saying start a party, vote for your own party. And by doing that, you're showing that, oh, we're involved in the political process. Because this is what I don't like when people say don't vote for anybody. You end up in a space where you just sound like a nigga that just don't care. So they're not going to do nothing for a nigga that just don't care. They're not going to do nothing for anybody that just don't care. Somebody who's not involved in the political process, you're not going to get nothing accomplished. So you have to show that you're involved. It has to be done in the way of like a political protest, damn near, where, oh, we're voting. We're showing you that we show up at the ballot. We just don't vote for either party. I'm down with that. I'm down with that 100%. That definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense. But y'all go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Oh, and it's easy for me to check on the likes now that I got this tablet sitting right here. We got 179 people in the building, 75 likes. Let's get these likes up, people. I'm looking at my subs. I got 2,980 plus subs. So I should be hitting 3,000 this week. So I'd like to thank everybody for that. But let's get these likes up. Let's definitely get these likes up. But I'm about to roll some footage. As I get my earpiece together. And what is that? I think somebody just dropped a Cash App on me. Oh, wait, no, that was... Oh, okay, that was personal. That was a personal message. That wasn't Cash App. All right. All right, good people. I can't get my head out of these comments. Black men are too worried about whether or not a politician likes them instead of using the politician the way that they are supposed to. Yes, fair point. A lot of that going on. All right, let's roll it. As soon as I figure out how to roll it. But check this out. What they doing here, they talking about, I don't know if that was even the main subject of what they was talking about. I was just casually checking it out. But then I noticed, they start talking about the black male vote, and they're understanding that they losing it. And they understanding that we ain't just automatically hopping on board. So here it is. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Going to give and invest and select Democratic candidates or even Republican candidates who are going to fulfill their economic agenda, their economic empowerment. There's no other organization like it. Secondly, the problem with Donald Trump, and even when he talks about lower black unemployment, the problem with him is that he has no targeted urban agenda to not only empower black people, but let alone black businesses. If you look at the unemployment that went down to 3, 4, 5%, well, white unemployment went down and so did black unemployment, but the gap between black and white's unemployment numbers never changed, which means he did nothing to close the gap because he hasn't targeted them as part of his urban agenda, let alone implemented or invested anything in closing that gap because he's not interested. All
right, now that part right there, that was a good point, and that does speak to what a lot of damn. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Most of y'all that listen to me know the routine with this. I gotta stop and play around with the camera periodically because the camera has a setting where it cuts off every 30 minutes, and I gotta buy the AC adapter, but due to Corona, you can't buy shit from the store. You got to order shit. And I tried to order it. It went through and then it fell through. And then I got to reorder and then wait again. So probably about a week, I'll have this problem solved. Probably in about a week, I'll have this problem solved, and I won't have to keep doing that. But work with me right now. Work with me, people. Work with me. Building a plane while we're flying it. But all right, here we go. We back. He talked about two things here, and me getting up and having to play around with the camera made me forget those two things that he talked about. But I try to remember. He talked about two things. He talked about how the last thing that he talked about is the black increase in, or the unemployment rate. Yeah, it dropped down, but the gap between black and white stayed the same. So it was basically like just, it spoke to just the natural course taking its, things taking its natural course, not really nothing he's specifically doing policy wise to help black unemployment. And I do feel like, and I talked to Lil Big Nate about this and a few other people, when it came to that black unemployment rate dropping, we more or less looked at it like, oh, look what he did. It's his policies. His policies has made this drop down. But I always pointed out that it was actually Obama who got it out of the toilet, that black unemployment rate. It was Obama that got it out of the toilet. And then Donald Trump his inauguration was in January. And he'd had his first, address the nation, moment in February, and said, due to my policies, the black unemployment rate is as low as it's ever been. And I'm like, dude, you've been in the office for 5 minutes. You ain't do that. However, he has maintained it, but he hasn't done it in a very specific way where he specifically focused and targeted on what he's going to do to benefit black people. So it's almost more so like, things took its natural course. He didn't fuck up what Obama did. And so the black unemployment rate, steadily dropped down. The white unemployment rate, steadily dropped down, but they stayed exactly, the gap that they were, whatever that gap is, the gap stayed exactly there. So that's a fair point. How did I lose my chat? That's a fair point worth looking at. Damn it, I had the chat up, then I lost it. And I think I lost the super chat. Hold on. Then Dollar Washer came through with a super chat. He said, we need to create our own industry or dominate a market that has room for growth. The black automaker computers. Good shit. Yeah, I talk a lot about how, well, I'm not gonna segue too deep into that. That's something I'll probably try to do a show on that. I'll probably get more of an expert to come in and do that there. I try to see if I can get somebody to talk about that. Get some Black Brain Trust folks on the job here. But yeah, it was another point that he made that kind of got lost on me in the process when my camera shut down on me.
Employment that went down to 3, 4, 5%. Well, white unemployment went down, and so did black unemployment. But the gap between black and white's unemployment numbers never changed, which means he did nothing to close the gap because he hasn't targeted them as part of his urban agenda, let alone implemented or invested anything in closing that gap because he's not interested. Those two things have to happen under Biden-Harris. And what BEA is saying is it is more likely that they can keep Biden-Harris accountable in directing black economic empowerment, not only in the urban centers, but all across the country. We'll have to see.
Look, the bottom line is Trump is going to try to make an economic argument to African Americans, especially black men. Robert.
But he can't, though. He can't. You're right, but he can't.
No, but here's the deal, though, Scott. The Quinnipiac, their poll came out today. It is showing 11% black support. He got 8% in 2016. Again, Robert, the Trump campaign, I've heard it from this White House directly. They believe they got 13% of the black male vote. They believe that they can push that to 18 to 20%. So how does Biden-Harris? I get all of the attention folks had on black women, but the reality is this here. The New York Times had a story the other day. You cannot repeat the Obama winning coalition without black men. Robert, what must Biden-Harris say specifically to black men to get their votes in November?
All right. Lot was said there. He talked about how they're expecting 20%. A lot of people in this space are talking a lot higher than that. A lot of people in this space are talking a lot higher than that. I'm trying to watch y'all in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on it. Keeping an eye on it. Yeah, I see Complex saying 20%. 20% is very possible. Some people saying all the way up to 50% because the anticipation is that the black men who generally vote Democrat are not going to be excited about voting for Kamala and Biden, or Biden and Kamala. Let me put the actual president nominee first and the vice president second. Black men ain't gonna be excited voting for Biden and Kamala Harris. So their turnout is going to be low. Those that are voting for Trump, the turnout is going to be high. They're more, excited or eager to do it. That's one thing to average into the equation. Another thing that they're talking about is how that riding that normal Obama train thing is not going to work. It's getting past the point where they finally realize, and I'm glad black Democrats are talking about it, because I talked a lot about how when it comes to black male media, particularly black male political media, Roland Martin is like, the top of the top, as far as independent, as far as somebody who's just on their own doing media. And what they're doing here, they're recognizing something that we're recognizing in the sphere, in the black manosphere. They're recognizing something that we're recognizing here, that black men are swinging a different way. Now, how and why, for what reasons, they're about to get into that. But it's good that they're at those early stages of noticing what's going on. They noticing what's going on. They seeing there's a change coming. They're predicting upwards of 20%. A lot of us are thinking, I'm thinking, it's going to turn out to be about 30%. But that's where I'm at with it. I'm gonna get to the main part that I wanted to talk about here.
Well, one, they have to articulate a message that actually benefits the African American male. Quite frankly, what Donald Trump has done is do a very good job of appealing to men in the campaign generally, and then specifically to black men. I can name more black male surrogates for Donald Trump than I can now name black male surrogates for Joe Biden. When you see interviews of black conservatives, you have Bruce Lavelle, you have Paris Denard, you have Deontay Johnson, you have Malik. I can rattle them off. I don't know a black man who is speaking on the side of Joe Biden on a regular basis besides Cory Booker. I also think that the first thing that Democrats' mouth can no longer just be criminal justice reform when we talk about the needs of African American men. Not all of us are criminals. Not all of us, that's our first agenda item. And quite frankly, they have to make sure that they're articulating this in a way.
Yeah, I wanted to let him keep talking, but I got to try to make it a point not to play the clip too long, because that's how your shit get taken down, when you play the clip too long. But what y'all think about that when they're talking about criminal justice reform and all of that? That's normally the main thing. And yes, as black men who don't commit crimes, we should care about the totality of black men, and black men do get a raw deal in the system. But at the same time, not all of us are criminals. Most of us will not end up in a situation where we're going to be facing prison time. So that's not necessarily just the mainstay issue. And then there's the thing that we got to average into the equation with Donald Trump. Yes, he's released a lot of people from prison, but is that just, and I think they're going to get into this too, is that just a little showpiece type of thing without, actual policy change? That's, this is Republicans, they kind of good at this shit where, like, look, we let these people out of prison. Or yes, when I forgot what rapper got in some trouble, he got him out. I didn't even get into that. Somebody said that on a damn Revolt thing and damn near got booed off the stage. I can't think of the chick name. It wasn't Candace Owens. It was the other chick who, one of the rappers and then the athletes, I think, D'Angelo Jello ball or whatever, had the situation going on in fucking Russia or somewhere, and she was trumping, no pun intended, trumping that up as look at what Trump is. He's getting your athletes and your entertainers out of jail and shit like that. But there are some regular folks that, you know, that he helped out, so to speak, but that's not across the board policy change. And how much of it are we looking at that as, you know, parading, making a public spectacle, parading around this one thing I did for this one person or this group of people. Look at me, I got some people that are black out of jail. Look at it. But overall, the policies is ultimately still the same. Shout out to MOT when he talked about policy. You know, we talked about those sentences, how, you know, there's a fluctuation in the sentences. You know, a crime can be 2 to 5 years. And if black men are getting the higher end of that more than other people, then some change needs to happen there. Now, what I've argued before is that those sentencing laws is there for a reason. You know, for example, there's fluctuation in how long you can get for a murder, and we all can understand it in a situation. Let's just say a woman is getting her ass beat by her husband every day for 10 years, is on the record, is police reports, is hospital records of a broken jaw that had to get rewired and all kind of shit. She's been getting her ass beat for 10 years, and then one day she says, I've had enough. And she sit there, she's pacing around the house with a gun in her hand, waiting for him to get home from work, and she put a bullet right in his forehead as soon as he walked through the damn door. Now, he wasn't a threat to her that day. He wasn't beating her ass that day, but she snapped. She snapped after 10 years of getting her ass beaten. Now, she committed a murder. She got to do some time. But do she deserve the same sentence as somebody who just hopped out the bed and shot a motherfucker because it was Tuesday? No. That's why there's fluctuations in sentences. That's why, you know, you can look at circumstances and see why, yes, these two people committed the same crime, but this person deserves 20, this person deserves 10. What ends up happening with that and is that benefit of the doubt that I just gave the woman who was getting her ass beat. You know, in situations, black men, due to either the judge's perception of black men or the 12 members of the jury perception of black men, they don't get that benefit of the doubt as much. So it makes it to the point to where we got to remove that benefit of the doubt. That woman who getting her ass beat, she got to do 25 to life. She got to do life all the same. And some people will say, no, she don't deserve life. But, well, no, black men don't deserve a longer sentence when they commit a crime. And there's no law on record saying that they are supposed to or have to get a longer sentence. That's the human error in it all. That's the human factor in it. And I see this cold-blooded motherfucker says, cold-blooded murder, dude. Ah, boy. David Monroe, don't have a heart until it comes to being sympathetic to the cop that shot a black man. You hate us because we're black. Had to go RBR on you. Oh, shit. Somebody said something. Nameless protagonist. Where you at? I saw you. You said something that I wanted to highlight. Bernard, you already know being a black man acts as a sentence amplifier. LOL. Dr. Francis Cress Welding explained why. I didn't read what he explained. I explained it quite simply as the fluctuation in sentences, how, you know, it's 2 to 4 years for a particular crime. That 2 years is if there are circumstances and there's benefit of the doubt, or yes, he committed the crime, but we can see what happened and why and how. And we don't think that this person is a true menace to society. And after they do some time, they'll be okay. So we don't need to throw the book at them. So a white 19-year-old is more likely to get that 2-year end of it. But that predominantly, mostly white jury is going to look at that black 19-year-old and say, no, he knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. And he probably would do it again if we let them out in 2 years. That's where that longer end of the sentence comes from. So going back to what they were talking about on Roland Martin is Donald Trump letting people out of prison. Okay, that's great. But is there any actual reform or policy that's being changed or being done that will make it to where more people won't get the longer end of that sentence? And will everyone else, will this country and any, person who looks at the nuance of it be okay with that? Because we can always think of a circumstance where, the same crime was committed, but one person is clearly more fucked up than the other person. So that's where the rub comes in with that. But if we're at the wrong, bad receiving end, or black men who commit crimes, I'm not going to say we're, because I ain't out committing those crimes, but black men who commit crimes are at the wrong receiving end of that rub, that fluctuation, then we should be wanting a policy that just scraps it all together and not just a token paraded around. Look, I got this one black person out of prison type of deal. So that's where I understand the critics of those that are criticizing black men who are voting Republican, but I don't think we're all doing it just because Donald Trump let a few niggas out of prison. It's a little more to it than that, and they're going to get into that. So I'm going to roll that beautiful bean footage again.
Way that is that we can actually repeat and that we can hold them accountable for, instead of simply going to the old tropes. They've just launched the Shop Talk series with the Biden-Harris campaign, so they are making some efforts to reach out. But I do think that you can't just try to ride the black girl magic train across the finish line. You're gonna have to reach out to brothers. And when you go to barbershops, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to your fraternity, when you go to play basketball, whatever you're doing, not many people black men are super excited about the Biden campaign. I think they have about 30 days to fix that.
But Roland, they're not excited.
Shout out to the Prophet of Thought series in the building. Shout out to the Prophet of Thought series. I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's already highlighted. I ain't got to find it. It says Brother Bernard on a Sunday beats the Sunday cable news by a mile. That was me trying to do an impression of Brother Xavier. I can't do his voice. He sounds like Ronaldo Ray. Shout out to Brother Xavier. Yeah, definitely been having some a little small splash of controversy going on over there on his show. Just a little small bit, but I like it. I like what like everything the X do over there. Shout out to him. And once again, if I haven't done enough shout outs to him or haven't thanked him enough for doing the voiceover work on the on my intro, I'd like to formally thank him again. He did a great job for that, and I recommend others to use his talent. And yes, I would be remiss if I if I didn't mention, I'm doing the impressions. I'm trying. Can't quite get your voice right. It's got just too much in that voice. I don't know how people talk like that all day. I try to talk like that. God damn it, I need a gallon of water after I get done with that shit. But yeah, he do sound like Ronaldo Ray. But when I talk about his voiceover work that he did, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Obsidian does great voiceover work too. So I do think we do need to reach out to the talent in this space. If you're trying to get an intro together, there's certain guys who just got certain voices where they just made for that. So definitely reach out to the talent in here. Y'all know Obsidian did just freestyled my original intro before I had video and all that and everything to go with it. He just freestyled that in one shot. So yeah, so definitely we need to be using the talent in this space. But shout out to the good brother X and all the work that he does over there. And thank you for the super chat. Let's see where we at. Pushing pause on people is just weird. Yeah, I can't see it. The screen ain't big enough. Hold on. Don't you hate when you push pause on somebody? It's just always rude. This motherfucker look like he high as hell. He looked like he took NyQuil, and Roland Martin looked like he took DayQuil. Like they both. You just catch people pushing pause. You just push pause on people. You just catch them in the worst moments. They just, yeah. Okay, I ain't gonna talk about Roland Martin. Shout out to Roland Martin. Hopefully he don't do nothing to get my video flagged on down. But anyway, damn, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. All right, let's roll it. Let's roll it. I want to open it up and get to hear from the people and when their thoughts on this. But I'm going to roll it some more because there's a few more good things that were said.
Excited about it because Biden and Harris aren't talking to them about it. They're talking at them. That's first of all. Second of all, I got to tell you, I think I may have told you this story. In 2016, the janitor.
I stopped it at the wrong time and then played it where I don't, just in case y'all missed what he said. He was talking, basically, he said Biden and Kamala, and by extension, he meant Democrats, not talking to black men, just talking at them, you know. That reeks of the if you ain't black if you ain't voting for Biden type of shit, you know. That's a point that they had made that I kind of, you know, paused it right in the middle of making that point. But I do just want to reiterate that these are black Democrats who are understanding what's going on. They're seeing what we have been talking about. And that's always important when people who are more mainstream start seeing what we're talking about. And I don't know if they're just seeing it or if they're listening. A little bit of both. They could be just noticing what's happening, but they also could be very well listening to what we're talking about here and echoing a lot of the things that we're saying. Speaking of somebody who's more mainstream that's echoing a lot of the stuff that we're saying, that damn Roommates podcast dude, the one that interviewed Kevin Samuels, is now giving dating advice and just echoing a very base level version of everything that's happening in the sphere. It's interesting how people are listening to things that have taken place in the black manosphere, and more mainstream people are like, I got to talk about that. You know, a lot of them are doing that. But anyway, let's roll it.
Janitor in my building said to me after Trump won on election night, he said, I voted for Trump. I said, are you nuts? He said, nope, I'm not nuts. And then he told me, he said, I'm pushing this broom because an illegal immigrant came in and took my construction job. And the only person that's speaking to that, because I'm still pushing this broom, is Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton never spoke to me about that, or at least I wasn't convinced that she was talking to black men about that. And I lost my job. In that narrative that he shared with me was not only eye-opening, but I tell you what, Biden and Harris better address and talk to black men about that issue and other issues that are affecting them and their ability to provide for their families, as well as to be economically empowered based on voting for them. I haven't heard that yet, but that's where that 11 to 13% is coming from of black men who supported the Trump ticket.
Well,
all right, now it's getting interesting. I can't even remember if that was the last part I wanted to share, but he talked about, again, something that gets talked about here more when we talk about black men voting Republican. Now, in the beginning, I talked about how the Make America Great Again hat Negroes, as far as I'm concerned, y'all tap dancing and chucking and jiving and eating watermelon and y'all kind of, you know, okay, I'm going too far. Not really, but it's a lot of chucking and jiving going on. A lot of bullshit in the Make America Great Again. That part of it ain't for us. And we talked about earlier how starting, you know, our own party or withholding our vote. But at the same time, even though I will concede the Republican Party, there's a lot of shit in there ain't for us. They could let's just take the most harshest version of their argument. They're against illegal immigration because they hate them goddamn Mexicans and they hate us too. Let's make their argument as stereotypical as we possibly can. So if they want to get rid of, you know, if they want to secure the border and get rid of and send everybody that's here that's illegal, send them out packing. If that's what they want to do. Even though in their mind, they're not thinking, yes, this is going to be good for black men. This is definitely going to be good for black men. But we can look at it and say that will be good for black men. Now, I was a blue collar worker. I'm self-employed now, so this doesn't apply for me. But if I'm looking out for the totality of black men do a lot of skilled and low skilled blue collar work. Getting illegal immigrants out of here, it will benefit us. And black Democrats are finally having a real conversation about that. And juxtapose that with the the whole little liberal, we are the world, we are the children bullshit that they try to sell, where they're basically making an argument that oh no, we're all one, diversity and inclusion and this and that. That's why they're so pro LGBTQRS. That's why they're so pro feminist agenda. That's why they're so pro illegal immigrant. That's why they are very pro black woman, black single mother. And they try to just, usher us in at the end of that. But where's the benefit? Where's the benefit? What's happening on the Republican end, where they're not pro us, but something that they're anti is benefiting us. So we have to look at that. Now, that's sort of old hat around here. We've talked about that plenty of times. However, black Democrats have not really been discussing that. They avoid that. They dodge that because they got to sell the Democratic Party as a party of inclusion and diversity and all of that other good stuff, but not realizing what it's doing. You're bringing in another lower class. He says, black men rejecting the church model may also have something. Nameless protagonist, shout out to you. I told you to email me, man. You ain't email me. My email is in the about section. You got to email me, dude. Me and you got to do a show. I'm doing a one-on-one Cut to the Chase tomorrow. Me and Cut to the Chase doing a one-on-one tomorrow. So y'all be looking out for that one. We'll be starting promptly at 9 a.m. So y'all be looking out for that one. Black men rejecting the church model may also have something to do with black men also drifting from the party on a fundamental level. Black men absolutely must develop an agenda and stand by it. Black men leaving the church. Yeah, that's a big one. Kevin Samuels talked about that. Grown man business in the building. He's wrong though. Black men are over 24% for the GOP, up from 12% 4 years ago. I thought those stats was wrong, but I just let them rock. They're predicting up to 20%, but last I knew it was around 25%. But yeah, but no, they undershot it, or they found the stats that had it the lowest. But there are other polls that have it much higher. But the illegal immigration piece is something that we definitely have been looking at here in the sphere. But I'm glad that more mainstream black Democrats are understanding the significance of that. They're full-blown understanding the significance of it. Let me see if y'all are playing me on the likes. 282 people watching, 133 likes. Let's hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Let's get the likes up. Let's see. Where we at? I'm losing my place. Oh yeah, about to let this roll a little more, then we're gonna open this bad boy up.
I'll tell you, Breonna, first
rightfully or wrongfully,
here's the deal.
Rightfully or wrongfully.
You absolutely have to have surrogates out there talk about those issues. And look, and I hear your point, Robert, but the reality is Congressman Cedric Richmond has been out there, Congressman Jim Clyburn, but you also have to go outside, Breonna, of members of Congress. You've got to go to individuals who are business owners, individuals who are out here, who can talk a narrative, who can also speak speak to those issues. Robert is right. I mean, here's the deal: there are a bunch of us who never been involved in the criminal justice system. So so you can't say criminal justice, mass incarceration, think you're just talking to black men. No, you have to articulate a much broader message. And that, again, that's what they're going to have to figure out. And they got to get it done because Joe Biden cannot afford slippage. He has to be able to have the kind of coalition that's actually going to achieve it. Brianna, go ahead.
Yes, I totally agree that it can't just be Congress members. However, there is Black caucusmen who are helping within this. Specifically, he has 300 Black ministers nationally that's helping propel the message and being surrogates. And so I think it comes in different aspects within our community. And I, as we talked about for businesses, but through the church, I do think that there is a heavy target on Black women, as we've seen, and we love Kamala, and it makes sense in itself that the past few weeks, Joe Biden has put Kamala Harris out in front in terms of messaging and what a Democratic White House will do in regard to economic policy, small businesses, and jobs. And so I think concentrating on the labor aspect of our nation and how we can get it better will really drive home a lot of the issues that we're seeing, as a Black man or as a Black woman. And there are definitely surrogates, but we see that he's targeting Black men by pardoning, just the way that he targeted immigrants by doing the citizenship randomly during the RNC, which I don't know what it had to do with anything. So, if people are going to take the symbolic gestures to go over there, that's kind of like hard to fight. But I think people are looking.
Yeah, right there. She spoke to what I was kind of alluding to earlier, how, letting some Negroes out of prison, that is symbolic gesture, not policy. And a lot of people are getting, wrapped up into that instead of, policy that's going to make it to where less Black people are going to end up there. That's a fair argument from, the other side. That's assuming that Black men are just hopping on board because, they let some Pookies out of prison. Yeah. So we just going to vote for Trump. I think it's bigger than that. And then they're about to get into it soon. I'm going to wrap up this video for Roland Martin, contact YouTube and have my shit taken down. I'm going to open this thing up and get this video off the damn screen.
For more than just symbols, and they want action. And the last 4 years have shown how he does not help Black America.
I got you.
And I think that's very important.
But Roland, real quick,
I do think that immigration issue when it comes to Black men.
Robert, go ahead. Well, actually, the immigration issue is a big issue with Black men. I can tell you that going back to when I did. Look, I can go back to 2008 when I had my radio show on WVON when that issue came up. How that was a major issue with the callers. But Robert, go ahead.
Well, I think one of the things that's important is there is no current Biden elevator pitch to Black men. That if I was to say, distill down what Joe Biden's going to do for African-American men in a 30-second pitch, most people can't. I think until the Democratic Party is able to articulate something along those lines, it's going to be very difficult to not have Donald Trump get that 20% of the Black vote. Because even if it's disingenuous, a lie will travel halfway around the world before.
He said 20% of that Black vote. I think we know he meant to say 20% of that Black male vote. And for those that are thinking that don't matter, that does make a difference. If that 20 to I think it'll be 30%. That's just my prediction. That matters. Elections are won and lost by small slivers like that. So it does matter. I heard somebody argue that it don't matter. And if all Black men, or the majority of Black men, we talking 6-7% of the population, all change their voting habits, then that's elections can get won or lost based off 6-7% of the population. So it matters. It matters. What the fuck is going on with my tablet? Shit, quit making weird noises. God damn it. Play ball.
The truth can put on its pants, and they just keep hammering unemployment, First Step Act, opportunity zones, and then roll out the Black surrogates. That is enough to get you over 20% unless there's a strong counterpunch from the Democratic Party.
Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. As our community comes together to support the fight against racial injustice, I want to take a second to talk about one thing we can do to ensure our voices are heard. Not tomorrow, but now. We want a new party. in the U.S. House of Representatives.
All right. Either it happened and I missed it, or I played the clip too early. But it was something else that they said that I wanted to get y'all on, but we may not get to it. We may not get to it. I'll just talk about what it was. I couldn't find. I don't know why I didn't see it on there. Anyway, I already showed y'all Ty City Logic Sphere in the building. He says I already showed y'all how they're going to blame black men for Biden's loss. Oh yeah. That's some blame we'll take. I mean, that ain't. Are they going to blame us, or are they going to actually look at reasons why we are not on what Roland Martin said? I must have played this clip not at the right part, or I must have talked over it, or accidentally skipped past it. But Roland Martin said in there I think this when he was talking about how they just can't do the normal Obama way of doing the normal Obama formula. They just can't do that. You just can't put Kamala on there and try to do the Obama formula like black men are not just going to ride the black girl magic train. Roland Martin said those words, and I'm mad that couldn't find it, that I didn't play it right, or he said it and I missed it, or I don't know. Maybe when I was getting up, walking around, playing with my camera, that was when he said it and I didn't hear it. But that black girl magic train, that was actually the thing that sparked me, that wanted me to even do a stream on this, because I feel like that black men have been riding that black girl magic train. And Ty City, I sent you a text, man, about doing a show. What is a hood conservative? Or not necessarily that simple, what is a hood conservative, but just talking about hood conservatism or whatever. And you ain't get back with me. Maybe you got two different numbers. Maybe I sent you to the wrong number. I don't know. But I sent you something on that. I was trying to set up a one-on-one with you. You ain't get back with me. Putting you on blast. What's up with that? We ain't cool no more, motherfucker. Anyway, Indigenous TV in the building. He says, Shalom, Bernard. I'm going to share this video on Twitter. Thanks. I appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat, Indigenous TV. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and have their words on this? But one thing he was talking about that I either missed when I tried to play it, I'm glad Hood Conservative coming on up here. But one thing that I missed when I tried to when I wanted to talk about that is how he talked about black men riding that black girl magic train, and how that's been the political thing. That's why I'm not knocking us going, Republican, even if I ain't with, and I acknowledge all the racist bullshit and how they ain't really necessarily for black men. I can acknowledge all that. I like that we're going a different way, because they think politics and black people is just more so black women, how to help black women, how it benefits black women, and black women, and black men just going to follow. So that's the key thing that they're noticing, that the whole just following of black women is not the right way to go. That's the reason that when Roland Martin said we can't just assume that black men are just going to follow that black girl magic train. That was a key point. And I'm glad that, and this will prompt me to even do a show on this, because I'm glad that black Democrats, more mainstream black Democrats, are noticing that shit is different and being shaken up here. And I'm loving it. Without further ado, we got Complex Design in the building too, but we're going to go to Hood Conservative. You can go ahead and fire away and give your thoughts, your take on all of this. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing too crazy, man. You're cooning ass. Anyway,
dude, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me up. First off, and I feel vindicated, bro. I've been going on the warpath about this type of thing for weeks now, and I'm not the only one. It's not like I'm just some crazy nigga out on the edge of the branch, you know what I mean, about to fall into a ravine. Dude, this is real, and it's not wrapped in symbolism. It's not wrapped in tokenism. the way the Democrats are trying to sell to the black community. It's actually wrapped in basic male stuff. You know, we want things, and not only that, not only do we want things, there are things we don't want, which are equally important. You know, this whole thing about policy, I had this whole argument, and people hit me over
policies,
the head.
nigga? Policies,
right?
nigga.
Fair enough. Fair enough. People hit me over the head with the policy thing.
Shout out to MOT. Shout out to MOT. That's my
Right.
favorite word now. Policies, nigga. Right, go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
look, but my response to that is I kind of want less of certain policies, right? So when we talk about the immigration thing, I don't really require a new immigration policy. Maybe we enforce the old immigration laws. You know what I mean? Maybe we actually enforce the policies that would have assisted us instead of having things like sanctuary cities. So it's not just about adding new policy. And then President Trump just struck gold the other day. I don't know how many people in this circle follow this kind of thing, but he just signed I guess you call an executive order to cancel any federal contracts related to critical race theory. Yes, the federal government at its agency levels, right? So different little departments within all the alphabet agencies that work under the federal umbrella. Mm-hmm. At every now and then, you know how like when you work in corporate world, you're supposed to take these little training classes and go off on your day off to some kind of group meeting. So we have federal employees being trained in critical race theory. Critical race theory basically says that if you're born white, you're evil, and if you're born black, you're the victim of evil whiteness. In a nutshell. You know, if you remember a few weeks ago, the Black National History Museum kind of got in trouble for putting out this list of whiteness, behaviors that are considered whiteness. And it was like all the tools of success, basically, following authorities and getting up on time, hard work, self-motivation, self-preparation, like all the basic skills of success and dominance in this world, they managed to classify that as whiteness. So, and this is the Black National History Museum. These are, the Black left. So they don't really differ in their ideology just because they're Black. They will say some shit that is equally crippling to the Black image. And Black people are kind of slowly, it's like a slow drip of the red pill. Every day something crazy happens every day that Black guys are just waking up. I just saw a speech from a Florida rep. I can't remember this guy's name. He's a state level rep in Florida. And he was basically like, what the hell have we become? Like, seriously, he's directly talking about the riots and all this BLM stuff, right? If you follow the news, if you only watch normie media, they'll wave the flag of peaceful protest. I just saw something come out, some kind of goofy college study said over 93% of the protests were mostly peaceful. It's like, dude, everywhere BLM goes, they burn some shit down at night. But you want to convince me it's mostly peaceful. And so you get this black guy, this older Black guy who was literally of the civil rights era, whose daddy walked him, to protest and stuff like that. And he said then, listen, when my dad was protesting and shit turned violent and he started rioting, we left because that's not why we were here. And he started just tearing down the whole BLM movement. And he's like really asking us as a nation, this is an older Black man looking America in the eye and asking us, what the fuck's wrong with us? Why are we allowing this craziness? And that's what really I think Black men are going to bring to the table in the future. I can accept the criticisms of the Republican Party, like they've dropped the ball, they've let us down, they didn't hold the line when they should have. But you know what? Every step of the way when they tried to hold the line, we all called them racist. So in order to combat that stuff and actually get some of the work done.
Shit, but
well, listen, if the manosphere agrees, we have a loose agreement that welfare is an issue. But every time a Republican wants to cut welfare, what do? Oh, the racist white man want to take food out your mouth. We can't have it both ways. So Black men have a great opportunity to not only do an image correction by standing on the side of what's obviously right and productive, but we can drag that Republican Party off the brink because they just don't have the balls right now. They really can't do it. If a Republican gets up and says anything that the manosphere says, they get called racist. Hell, most people in the white manosphere can't manage to get on TV and say what we say. But Tommy Sotomayor made it on like cable television more than once. We can do it.
Mm. All right, we got to go to Complex Design. You said a lot of shit, man. I said we gonna get a one-on-one going on. I'm gonna send you an email when I get off here and see when check your availability. I'm gonna check you. I gotta get a one-on-one with you on some of this shit. Go ahead and drop the link to your channel, David Monroe, because I didn't realize you had a channel until fairly recently. So yeah, go ahead and drop the link so people can go on and sub to you. But go ahead, Complex, you got it.
What was the topic again?
Come on, man. All right, yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. What was the topic again?
I don't even know the fucking topic. Okay, Black Democrats finally.
Exactly. We don't know what the fucking topic is anymore. What is it again?
Yeah, I'm reading it I'm reading it directly. Let me make sure I understand my topic. Black Democrats finally talking about losing black men or losing the black male vote. They're having talk. Right. They were having a talk about that on Roland Martin, and I was breaking down the different things that they were saying. And David Monroe
I was following along, and then I thought I accidentally clicked on a Fox News video or something. Okay, so back to the topic. Yeah, no shit, right? Like there isn't basically a vote to lodge if you're a black man, if you're smart, semi-smart. Okay, so what to do, right? Because that was the question I think you were posing. Okay, it's kind of like, well, do a third party? Do you somebody mentioned what? Do we lobby? I said bingo. Lobby, right? You have to have some sort of interest to then center. You have to have some sort of agenda, right, to center your interest around, and then you have to have an entity that then funnels money into candidates, right, to push the shit. It works like this. Like everybody else does it. Everybody else does it. Okay, so that's it. Now the question becomes, what's the agenda? Now, I think that might be where you might want to start the conversation, because until you have that, you ain't got shit. You got a bunch of discussions, right? Black conservative theory, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You ain't got shit until you actually have an agenda and something to move on, right? And when you get some money together, that's when you got something. Until then, you got fucking opinions.
All right. I know you want to respond to that, David Monroe. So hold your thought on that. I'm gonna go to Ty City and see what Ty City got to say on this one. But I know it's gonna be interesting hearing your response to that one. But good shit, Complex. Good shit. But go ahead, Ty City. You got it. Ty City. Mic check 1 2 on Ty City.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you.
What's up with it, bro?
What up?
Man, I didn't know they was taking this to the camera, to the news, the mainstream media news like this. You know, I thought it was just gonna be like little articles and stuff that I covered a couple weeks ago. That's all they was putting out there on black men. You know. Mm-hmm. I might have to do a part 3, man. Yeah.
No, Roland Martin talking about it. Even though Roland Martin is technically he's independent right now. He's going his own way. So he ain't working for CNN, MSNBC or nobody. But he's running his shit like that, and is pretty damn popular. So I still consider him mainstream. So yeah, he's talking about it.
Well, I think this is more of, you know. Now to make it look like black men were so involved during the whole process. You see what I'm saying? All this last minute black men talk. You know, so when shit hit the fan, you know what I'm saying, they take the big L, you know, they can rush in with the well, this is what happens when we involve black men, when we let them have a say and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The blame game. Just like the list of 100 black men who forced him to pick a black candidate, a black female candidate, specifically Kamala Harris, and that's why he picked Kamala Harris. Watch, it's all gonna come out. Watch, it's gonna be black men.
Hold on, time out. I don't know nothing about that. You said it was a list of 100 black men that allegedly
100 prominent black men made a list, a petition for Joe Biden to pick a black female candidate, specifically Kamala Harris. You know,
Yeah,
so
That, hold on, that right there, that speaks volumes to when they talk about black male leadership or what black male rulership will look like. It'll look like exactly what the fuck black women getting right now, because black men, if given the power, they're going to cater to black women. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So with this list they put together, right? They ran a whole PR campaign, and they never took it to TV. You know, it was CNN articles, Forbes articles. I covered all that stuff on my channel, where they had these 100 prominent black men, a whole list of them, who came in and they made Joe Biden pick Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying?
Who was on the list? Was it like a bunch of Michael Eric Dyson, Mark Lamont Hill ass niggas? Like, who was this list? Black men, prominent black men.
Diddy,
Diddy,
producers, fucking all the influence people.
Yeah, Ty posted the list. He posted it.
Yeah, see, I'm behind on that.
Yeah, so this is last minute, you know what I'm saying? Let's get black man involved. The last second of the game, we want to pass the black man the ball. So if they don't score, it's going to be their fault.
Right. They ain't gave us the ball the whole game, but it's 5 seconds left on the clock. Give it to us to try to miss the game winner so they can blame us. That's what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
All right. Shit. All right, before I go to names protagonists, I do want to get David Monroe's response to what Complex said. And I see I got some people in the back chat. I'm keeping it kind of small today. I like the 4 I got up here, so y'all can hang out right there. I might bring y'all up later, but I do want to bounce the ideas off the four gentlemen that's up right now.
Wait. Let me add one more piece of that, Bernard.
Oh, go ahead.
They already knew they was going to pick Kamala Harris, man. They just need somebody's cosign, you know, to go behind it on some. Well, they said it, you know. Yeah. So it didn't have nothing to do with this list they tried to put out in front of everybody.
Yeah. They just had to have some kind of way to pass the buck.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. All right, go ahead, hood conservative. Go ahead and respond to what Complex said. He hit you with a couple body blows. I'll let you respond.
I mean, honestly, I totally forgot what he even said. I don't think it was that crushing to the idea, the movement. The thing is this, bro. Either you can accept that they've been selling us out for the last 30 years or not. I mean, what have they given us over the last 40 years of the black?
Dude,
no, I'm talking about the Democrat Party.
Stop strawmanning, though. Nobody made that argument.
I'm not making a straw man argument. I'm presenting an argument.
No,
what have they given you for the last 40 years?
Don't present anything that's not part of the discussion. Don't do that.
Oh my God! You want to look? This is the typical Democrat bullshit. They only want you to talk about what they want you to talk about.
Where did Complex identify himself as a Democrat?
Thank you, dude. That's what I mean. Stop the.
You're defending. You came on to defend the Democrat Party. Everyone on that panel is representing the Democrat Party. If you're up here carrying the flag for them, what else am I going to think?
Bernard, now when I came, I literally said that there isn't a party for black men to lodge a vote. I prefaced my whole fucking soliloquy by saying that, David. That's why I get tired of you gaslighting and fucking strawmanning, bro. You don't listen.
Hold on. The first thing out of my mouth was an attack on the Democrat Party, and you took offense.
No, I didn't take offense.
You took offense.
I said
you're not a Democrat, but it hurts your feelings when I talk bad about them.
Bro, I came up here.
You're conflating, dude, and I don't know where that came from.
All right. Let's pump the brakes.
Hold on. If I ask, what have the
real quick, David Monroe, real quick. Y'all can have the discussion without the label of whether or not Complex is a Democrat or whatever the hell he is. He's right or wrong about what he was saying. So just address that without the label.
I never called him anything. He said
What the
he wasn't.
fuck are you?
Whoa. Can I speak, please? I'm not going to cut you off when you respond.
Let him go, Complex. Let him go.
I didn't call you anything. I came out and said the Democrats haven't done XYZ for black men, and you spoke up for them. And then you had the nerve to say you're not a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or not. You're defending them.
You don't know how to listen. You don't know how to listen. I literally said that there is no party for black men to lodge a vote right now. How does that sound like I'm actually in alignment with democratic principles when I clearly state that there is no fucking party right now for me to go lodge a vote to? I've even told you before, bro, I'm a registered independent. Stop with
but
the
you
bullshit.
defend the Democrats anytime I speak against them. Every time. Bro.
All we do is ask you to back up what you're saying with some sort of policy initiative, and you never can.
Pause right there. Pause right there. Hold on. Pause right there. I started out by asking you, what have the Democrats done for black men? And you went off on this rampage. What's wrong with that question?
I think it's clearly obvious what the fuck Democrats have done for black men. You want to know what they've done? They picked Kamala fucking Harris as Biden's
You full of shit.
I mean, how much more fucking obvious? Like, how stupid of a question is that? How good is?
Yo, you want to jump out of your? You want to jump out your prison cell and fight forest fires, bro? You want to be a firefighter?
How good has Kamala Harris been for black men? I'm out here in California, okay? I've had homies who were subjected to her bullshit over weed. Like, are you fucking telling me that? When have I ever been on record being pro Kamala, nigga? Stop with the gaslighting. Stop that
shit. Dude, hold on. How am I gaslighting by asking what have the Democrats done for black men? And you respond by naming how horrible their vice president candidate is. Who the fuck's gaslighting who?
Wait, dude, are you stupid?
You just said how fucked up your own candidate is, but something wrong with me pointing out how fucked up your own candidate is.
Okay, that's enough.
Go to nameless.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, Complex.
It's lit.
Yeah. I ain't going to Dallas Cowboys. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And y'all go ahead and get them likes up. We about to go to they kind of at 50% at 176 likes, 337 people watching. So let's get let's go to nameless protagonist and nameless. Whatever prompted you to come up here and speak before the Complex and David Monroe back and forth. I'd rather you hop on that one.
I am, and it's ironically, I was gonna say, a lot of what Complex mirrored. So let me establish what's animating my statement, so there's no opportunity for conflation or confusion. Mm-hmm. Number one, I do not support any of the policies, the ideas that the Democrats are pushing forward. I don't identify as one. I'm not trying to defend them. I'm not trying to champion them. In that same vein, I apply the same disposition towards the Republican Party. My concern is the issues pertaining to black men. And I understand that we're not a giant monolith that is just some big, huge dude that happens to be black. I understand that disposition. However, when it comes to economics, law, and politics, when we have to interface with power, unfortunately, we do need to have an agenda we put forward onto the table, because we do have this label and classification. So we're stuck with this absolute point of whatever's written on your birth certificate and whatever external physical phenotypes you have, you're going to be ascribed a classification. This is why we have demographics. Like I get the relative argument of you are not your identification or classification. But again, externally, when it comes to interfacing with the system, you do have this label black, and you do have a subdivision of being male that matters. And the reason why this matters is because at the end of the day, when you look at the way people engage in the politics, there are these words legally that have meaning. We've been essentially sideswiped and intercepted by this word minority, for example. And when you try to go and look up a loan, say you want to start a business, when you see the wealth of grants that are available to you, when you see the policies that are put in place for you, when you look at the way the affirmative action laws are actually applied, this word minority has opened the gates for so many people to actually put their hand into the barrel before you get a turn to reach in there, by the time you get your piece as a black male, you don't have anything left. And so here we are, you know, in the Democratic sphere as a group, our expected participation, again, as shown by our past voting record, is that, you know, we go to put our hand in the barrel when the call for black people shows up, even though black women got to go in first under the pretense of being female. So when it comes to our turn, we don't have anything. And then we don't have an agenda in this Democratic sphere to give us some priority to get in there and do that. That's what an agenda would allow for. So we're forced out of this pecking order, so to speak. And so it instantly places us in the right. Okay, so while we're in the right, we have the second problem of how do they operate on the right? It's this hyper bootstrapism. And this model just simply doesn't work for black men, because black men are literally on the bottom of every measurable metric of power as a classification. Now, maybe some of us as individuals are doing well and we're able to do well in spite of our circumstance. There's a lot of men in the manosphere who that applies to. But the problem at the end of the day is we don't have a coalition that can sit down and make demands so that we can aggregate and network and move forward.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
We just, based off what we just talked about, apparently there is a coalition that can sit
that
down.
100 black men.
Yeah, and they said get a black female vice president.
Well, you know, here we go. With
and that's so if a group can influence Biden like that, that was a group that could have put forward an agenda.
Wait.
So, let me finish my point, because that's something I kind of want to get into too. And the last thing I was really going to say, and it was what I was touching on in the chat, you know, we just have a cultural pattern of approaching politics the same way we approach church.
Thank you.
So we have this front-loaded list of expectations and following of personalities, rather than asking, what can the religion do for you? We're trying to do for the religion, and we approach our politics that way, with these assumptions that, you know, it's like you make a prayer and then it happens. You know, we don't have a history of really engaging viscerally on a ground level with, this is what we want, this is what we expect, here's our punishments, and here's our rewards we'll offer you if you adhere to that. And it makes it worse when we're in an environment now where the policy is having these lobbyists that can influence policies in ways that they couldn't before, because now money is being amalgamated to free speech. Like it puts us in a position where we have to start doing this as a group.
Citizens United.
I can't.
Yeah. Hey, let me get some pushback to what he said.
Real quick. Justin Harris, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Trader MBD, come on up. I already got the link in there.
But that's generally what I wanted to just lay out. You know, that again, by virtue of not associating with the left and not seeing policies that, you know, would benefit us as a group, we're forced to the right. But in this awkward position now, we're scrambling to figure out how to engage with the right so that our needs can be met, instead of this idea of we're not suffering as much here because we're not in that environment where everybody's grabbing before we get a piece. That's pretty much what I'm putting forward.
And so real quick before you go, Ty City, somebody in the back chat by the name of AB Media 83. Are y'all familiar with this brother? Oh, yeah, just in the super chat. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Y'all familiar with him? He was trying to come on up. I didn't want to overflood.
Yeah. He's in
I mean, okay, yeah.
No, I was just asking, anybody familiar with him?
Yeah,
I think Nameless is, yeah.
Okay.
By the way, what up, Nameless?
Salute, family. How you doing, man?
Good. Hey, man, good shit on Friday night, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we were ironically talking about this a little bit.
Yep.
All right, I want to pass it. Yeah, go ahead, Ty City. You got it.
Yeah, so I
just super chat, AB. I'm bringing you up in a little bit.
I want to chime in on that whole people of color minority statement that Nameless was talking about. The only people that are being confused by that is black people, because you take somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she'll say people of color, she'll say minority all day long, but nobody is confused about the group that she's representing.
I don't argue that. I'm saying it's problematic in that exactly how you're stating it. You know, we're not realizing that that term is not benefiting us, even though there's a loaded implication of who's being talked about. Kind of like when you hear this word urban.
Yeah,
You know, it's
sounds inclusive. Sounds inclusive.
But you know, it's like a dog whistle term. Everyone knows who they're really talking about when they say that.
Right.
But you know, when you're using a legal pretext to try to direct policy towards a group, you know, the word matters. You know, there are words for other groups of people, but when it comes time for us to try to use our words, you know, we engage it in the worst possible way. When something that's targeted towards us should be targeted towards us, we let other people get it. And then when it comes to the negative aspect, we inherit all of that instead of letting it be directed towards the aggregate. So, you know, it's just, again, it's just symptoms of not having an agenda, in my opinion.
Well, I want to put forward an idea and address the Black agenda issue, and that's a problematic idea. The concept it's full of holes because on a certain level, you really have to ask yourself, what is a Black agenda? Like, what's an agenda? Like, how does agendas have a color or a racial dynamic, especially in a country like America? Because if Black people have an agenda, are you going to be upset if white people have an agenda too? It's a dangerous path to walk down.
You don't think white people have agendas?
They do, but they're not openly marching on it, and that's the thing. What happens when white people are openly marching on the white agenda?
Let me jump in on this, y'all. Let me jump in on this, y'all.
Wait, hold on. Time out. So you never seen a militia go to a state house?
Yeah, they're not allowed in mainstream culture. That's the problem.
They're not marching.
They're not white. They're not white.
They're not accepted.
Their ideas. They're all racist. They're all racist.
Let me use an example.
That march.
Let me use an example that's more neutral. Like, let's take what Obama was able to do, right? So we made the assumption that because we voted overwhelmingly for Obama to get in there, just records, no other ethnic group, no other classification of people voted so unanimously across the table for Obama the way we did him. So he was able to, in spite of us putting him in there, we didn't have an agenda as a group. So a lot of what he could do for so-called Black people never was able to really come to fruition in an environment where the pushback would be the Senate, the House, it was all Republican. Yet, in spite of that, the LGBTQ agenda was not only able to get pushed forward, they were able to make groundbreaking progress because they were able to unify under an objective and a goal. That group had punishments and rewards distributed to them.
Hey, Nameless, let me speak on that real quick, Names. Hey, let me speak on that, yo. Hey, hold up, Black. Let me get in here, bro. Hey, Nameless, here's the issue, man. The LGBTQ whatever was the agenda from jump, man. All that stuff that Obama was talking in 2008 that got us all amped up, that got everybody all hyped, were conservative values. He was talking about family. He was talking about Black men pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, starting businesses, jobs, and, you know, doing all this, getting rid of this baby mama-ism stuff in the community. That's what he was on in 2008. And he was able to get a united front. And then next thing you know, he gets in, and what happens? All of a sudden, it's a bait and switch, and it became towards these marginalized communities, you know, the fringe communities. And now even those communities are even saying, like, what the hell are y'all on now? So it was never about Black people as a whole, because even Barack Obama, he ain't Black. He knew that. It was just basically, let's say it in name, because we know we'll get them all emotionally amped up and they'll vote for us.
But that's my point.
When Obama was initially
y'all getting away from Black men.
Obama was initially elected.
Now we're getting away from
there were Black people, especially Black men, who directly asked and confronted President Obama with respect to what he was going to do for Black people. His surrogates, people in the media, rebutted them and said effectively that he's not the president of Black people, he's the president of all Americans. There was a lot of pushback against efforts. That's why they end up demonizing Dr. Cornel West and Tavis Smiley and other people who initially tried to set an agenda for Black people to confront the Obama administration. They did not want to accept any pro-Black agenda from Black people. They rebutted that.
Thank you. Now, can I speak to that real quick? Can I speak to that real quick? Because everybody kind of lost their mind when I said what I said, all right? But here's the problem. In general, just laid it out. If you force it down people's throat as a black thing, what's going on right now? Black people are not creating a lot of positive currency with ideas right now. Okay, BLM is the face of the black man right now, whether you like it or not. So I propose this: don't force your color on people. What is the color of good ideas? What is the color of a strong family? What is the color of a strong business? All right, these are the ideas that are going to drag black men across the finish line, not selling people some kind of racial grievance.
David, wait, David.
Go ahead, Ty City. Go ahead, Ty City.
What was immigration forced down people's throats? Was same-sex marriage forced down people's throats?
Yes, it was.
There's no hold on, Ty City. There's no color attached to that, bro.
Exactly.
There's no color attached to that. Man, immigration is for everybody.
Yeah, I got to go, man.
Same-sex marriage is for everybody.
I'm a
for all races.
These are ideologies, bro. Those are ideologies.
That stuff turned into policies for somebody, right?
No, what I'm pointing out with the immigration and with the LGBT things, those are conflations of ideologies. All right, ideas had won the day, and what I'm trying to point out to us as black men is we have better ideas. We have more productive ideas. We have ideas that are fucking sellable. You could package this shit and put it on the shelf. All right, everybody wants to be rich. Everybody
agenda. We could package it as an agenda, right?
Fine, but it's a better agenda than turning your fucking son into a daughter.
Exactly.
No one is pushing back.
Guess who's making the more progress?
We haven't been fighting them. And then look, let me add something else to that. The black community has been quietly, tacitly going along with that shit. All right. If a bunch of white men, a bunch of straight white men get up and say, we don't want all this the LGBT rainbow stuff, they get pushed out of the circle. It's harder to do that with a bunch of base black men from all walks of life, whether they be the educated college level guys or the niggas in the street. If that kind of male unity stands in the face of this shit, it's hard for them to call us all some kind of racist bigot.
But so you don't like the way we're going about it. I'm sorry, I'll name this. So you saying that it should be a black agenda, we just got to go about it a different way.
We can have an agenda that is successful for black people, yes.
Here you go. Here's the successful agenda for black people. Play the American card. You know what? Play the card that the country was founded on. It's easy. Did the country get it right at first? No. It took years. It took civil wars. It took us going overseas fighting. It took all kinds of craziness in the 60s and 70s to finally get us to this point. And I'm going to tell you, the last 20 years, I was able to get myself out of knuckleheadness because of what the country was founded on. And now the freaking left, the Democrats, are trying to play black men. And they're going to tell you, oh, you're oppressed. You're going to get this. Well, you got what? 9 brothers on this panel that are basically getting it in. And they're trying to tell us that, guess what? We got to be like these criminals. They're getting arrested, shot in the street. Y'all are one and the same? No. Chris Rock was right. It's niggas versus blacks. And these men up here on this panel, we're black. We ain't niggas. We got to separate and identify and be like, look, if y'all niggas want to get on it, come aboard, come with us. Stop doing all the fuck shit. It's as simple as that.
Right.
I just want to say this because literally everyone has been just repeating exactly what I said at the very, very beginning and identified the dynamic. The moment you disassociate with what the left is doing, you are instantly, irrevocably placed on the right. And I said the issue is we need an agenda to look at how we're going to engage with the way the right operates. That's an agenda. And that's all I'm saying.
All right, let me try to steer the conversation this way. We keep talking about a black agenda. I've been hearing that for the longest. I don't think I've heard anybody actually lay out what does that black agenda actually look like. You talk about the LGBT.
Hold on. We've been in the manosphere for like what 5 years now, and you motherfuckers tell me that there's no solidified base of ideas in the manosphere. We don't want lower child support. We don't want a restructuring of the family court system. We don't want a restructuring of the legal marriage system. We don't want the fucking immigration policies to negatively affect us. Like we have been talking about this shit in the manosphere for fucking years. But when I attach it to the conservative party, when I remind you that the Republican Party is more likely to get it done, everybody pulls out the coon card.
Well, no, hold on, real quick. They countered by saying, "But what's the agenda?" But I think you did lay out pretty much an agenda.
We've got
Is everybody scared of the agenda and what has to take place? It has to be a separation. It just has to be, y'all. And here's the deal. You're scared of it because it's attached to a conservative message. But it's the same conservative message that black men were on for 100 years, pre-1960.
All right. Nameless protagonist. I'm going to get AB in here in a little bit. Nameless protagonist. Damn, I should go to I'm going to go to Complex next. But nameless protagonist. What's the black agenda? You don't like the agenda that David just laid out, even though I think
I didn't say I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I'm agreeing with it. In fact, what I was trying to lead up to is the fact that...
Wait, hold on. Well, if you agree with what he's been saying, and if you agree with a lot of what the Black Manosphere been saying, then why did the conversation, maybe you're not the right one to ask, because maybe you haven't been, I'm using air quotes, derailing it with this, with saying, but what's the black agenda? And what's this or that? And we need a black agenda. I think a black agenda has de facto been being laid out by a lot of people in the Black Manosphere if you warp it all together. I think going back to hold on real quick. I'm gonna go to you. But going back to what I said before, the supposed 100 black men who had the ear of the president of the United States, and he allegedly did something that they told him to do. What they told him to do is get a black female vice president who locked up a lot of niggas.
They had their own agenda.
That's where it kind of loses the power of the point when you say, well, we need a black agenda, when clearly black men are not a monolith. If 100 prominent black men could put that little bullshit to the president while they got his ear, but somebody like David Monroe could say all the shit that he just said that I do think make a lot of sense. So, I mean, I feel like that's why I feel like it's a deliberate derail when we say, well, what's the agenda? You don't got no, we need a black agenda.
That's not how I was trying to posture that. So if that's how you took it, that wasn't my intention. I was literally just stating out the obvious that the way you get something done in this country is an agenda. I'm saying that as a general statement, not to say that or undermine anybody else's point. I thought this was very obvious. Okay. The only thing I'm just simply saying is that there is no agenda for us on the left, and that automatically postures us on the right. And that to get something done, especially as black men, we need to learn how to engage the right so that we can get things done. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Complex, go ahead with the agenda talk. You said something about, I think you initially responded to David Monroe saying we need an agenda. So go ahead. What's a good black agenda in your assessment?
Wait, can you guys hear me? I was in the car and I stepped away and the reception got bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Man, let me jump in real quick.
Go ahead, Ty. Then I'm gonna go to you next, AB.
So the agenda, so the black male agenda has to be understood on both sides, right? And Republican is I get why they say that, but it doesn't matter, right? Because the Republicans, they're against so much stuff that they could take out right now, or they could have over the last 3-4 years, right? But they're not doing it. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So because those agendas, they have an understanding that we can't touch this or it's going to be major pushback. There's going to be consequences for trying to undo some of this stuff, right? That's what black agenda has to be. That's how it has to be. It can't be on no party line stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, Ty City, what specifically are you talking about? What haven't they done? Just a quick question.
What do you mean? What haven't they done? Talk to
you. Said specific.
They
specifically
haven't overturned Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, me and MOT was talking about.
Same-sex marriage. All of that stuff is supposed to be like.
They more or less, even though I think it is some swing voters in there, but they, for the most part, they got the Supreme Court 6-3. It's a lot of shit they can get done.
They're not gonna do shit. Trust me.
Yeah, and it's a lot of shit they ain't getting done because they don't want the blowback and the backlash and all that.
They're not gonna get rid of all the things that they hate. Trust me.
Okay, quickly, Todd City. What does that have to do with black men?
Wait, can you guys hear me okay?
How does that affect us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Complex.
Well, I'm finna tell you what it has to do with black men, because we have to set something in stone and we can't show any party loyalty. Those policies aren't party based. You see what I'm saying? They're just not. It's just every time, let's say anybody runs, they're going to have the right are going to have something for this group of people, and the left is going to have something. So it doesn't matter who gets in the office. These people are going to be taken care of. That's how their agendas are set up. We trying to get under the Republicans, and that's not how it's going to work.
Well, let's look at the court reform for families, right? Like a custody issue. Let's say we want to push something like 50-50 custody during a divorce or whatever, like instantly. The pushback you get from circles like that oftentimes comes from folks that are on the left. So if we're on the left trying to push something like that, which would benefit Black men and men in general, it would make sense to try to go about that from the right. They're more likely to listen and agree to something like that. And what I'm hearing from the manosphere, and this is where I've stood this whole time, a lot of the policies we've identified that have become problematic from us are the result of a Western culture thing mixed with the state getting involved in supporting it. But it's been the state animated by a lot of liberal policies that have done that. So if we step behind a conservative animating energy to address those laws, we have a higher probability of succeeding because it's something that will benefit both Black men and men in general. And that's the nature of where we're at right now. And that's what I mean when I say a Black agenda. It's more so things that would benefit us and other individuals can also get behind and benefit that. Because like to be clear, like for example, the alphabet thing that benefited people on both sides ultimately. I think we kind of need to approach it from things like that.
And
a lot of
benefited people on both sides.
Well, you've got individuals that are that attach that identification of LGBTQ who are across all political spectrums. That's what I mean.
It's very few. I won't say that.
Remember, some of their biggest spokespeople were
most gay people are liberal, very liberal, and both Democrats.
There were some on both class. I'm not trying to
push
make
back
that.
I don't know if you all are familiar with Brandon Straka and his walk away movement, but he's got 500,000 people in it, and the majority are LBG, whatever that alphabet thing stands for. And they were attacked by BLM in Dallas yesterday.
Okay.
A bunch of homo.
I feel nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but okay.
No. I understand the I feel nothing part, but let me remind you of this: your leaders, your new forcible chosen leaders, the people who forced themselves to the top of the Democrat attention plate, they're now open hypocrites. I thought they were pro-gay, but they're out there beating up gay people left and right.
I run along the lines of libertarianism, where you can do and be whatever you want to be. You have the freedom to do so, long as you don't impede on anybody else's rights. So that whole shit, that shit don't mean shit to me. It's just the fact that they can put agendas
It's the
together.
hypocrisy, bro.
Listen, it's the fact that they can put agendas together and get them pushed through. Now they're impeding on everybody else's rights. That's why I don't fuck with that shit.
Yeah, they wanted to fight for their seat at the table. Once they got their seat, then they want to snatch the mic from everybody else.
Then they start inviting the drag queens, and now we sitting here surrounded.
But that is the ones you all are mentioning on the left. That is the alphabet community on the left. Now you've got the alphabet community on the right that's getting the same way that Black people on the right are getting treated.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go to AB Media. We're gonna go to AB Media. Thank you for your. Well, hold on, real quick. Let me read the super chat real quick. Indigenous TV. He says the Black male agenda, libertarian. Every Black man in America should have a copy of the Constitution. Reject the nanny state of liberalism. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. AB Media 83. Thank you for your patience.
I was gonna answer.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on. What'd you say, Complex?
I was going to answer your question. You wanted me to. You had asked me the agenda question, but you guys couldn't hear me.
Oh, okay.
I'll go
after breaks. Let me go to AB Media, then I'll go right to you next. Go ahead, AB Media 83. You got it.
It's about damn time they figured out that we're not taking their shit.
Bro, it's a show, man.
I know. They're trying to say faith. They're trying to say that we reached out to Black men, but they still didn't vote for us.
No, see what happens when we let Black men have a say politically. That's what it's going to be. Trust me.
Tough shit. As far as I'm concerned, Trump can stay in office. You know, you know how they love to say, we need to vote for the lesser of two evils. Okay, Trump is the lesser of two evils. Get the fuck over it.
All right. Thank you. Complex. I'm passing to Complex. See what Complex got to wanted to say to that question that I asked him. That I forgot what I asked him. I think it was like it was a black agenda question.
Yeah,
if I remember it right. So yeah, go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. Go ahead.
Well, I would say that the Black Brain Trust has spent the better part of 2 years clearly outlining and defining a black technocratic agenda.
That's true.
Okay, this is like this is why I'm very short on these conversations, because when we dug into it to the point where we modeled out, agenda, how to structure agendas to get us in. Basically, what we want to do is we're looking at a technocratic platform where black folks essentially over the next 2 to 3 generations become masters of technology, right? So that we can fully engage in the 4th industrial revolution. So that means that there is an education agenda that we need to discuss. There's an industrial agenda we need to discuss. There's an international agenda we need to discuss, as well as a domestic agenda that we need to discuss, as well as an economic one. Now, you'll notice all of those things that I outlined are essentially the core topics that we would cover, right? And so within those discussions, we would model out like policy structures. We would model out business. We would do a lot of live business modelings. It was Nameless and I on Friday night on my live stream, where I mentioned we held a live stream on how to build electric cars and how to get the funding for it. Now, if we just kind of correlate that sort of base conversation to Tesla, for example, and we just saw what their fucking stocks just did, right? We can start to see how we could benefit from fully engaging in the 4th industrial revolution, as well as hemp and cannabis. We've even modeled out how to seek reparations through the legalization of that, which in my view, that's going to be the way to get it. Now, if you're looking at seeking, and this is just for the reparation whole piece here, just consider this. Now, you can look at trying to recover money, which is fully entrenched in the global markets right now. And if you want to try to recover that with all the shit going on, Ty City's fully aware of the crash that just happened on Friday. My portfolio sure as hell took a hit. So what I'm looking at is future revenues. How do we get our constituency tapped into the future industrial revenues? We start now with a fucking agenda. I would highly suggest that if you're not subscribed to the Brain Trust, go ahead and subscribe there and then get to digging, because there's 600 videos.
Okay, Complex. Give me real quick the cannabis issue, Bernard.
Real quick. Somebody drop that link to the Brain Trust. Drop that in the chat, because we do. I'm going to start sharing. I share a lot of Complex videos on his solo channel, so to speak. But I will start sharing more of the Brain Trust, because y'all are doing the Lord's work over there, and we do gotta.
And subscribe to my channel. And subscribe to my channel too, so y'all niggas won't be 3 weeks late behind.
Hey, real quick, y'all. Real quick to the Complex's point, to your point, Complex, on the cannabis issue. Here's the deal, man, and how I got into this and how I'm showing other brothers that are willing to listen to get into it. I didn't look at it as for reparations. I just said, you know what? Man, this weed is good. Man, I don't have to take PTSD medicines. I don't have pain from jumping out of a plane for 16 years anymore. It's good. So hold up, Complex. So I went on YouTube. And started Googling, and I just went in my kitchen and started creating. That's it. I didn't look at it as reparations or anything. So, and then, hold on real quick. Then I partnered up with a white dude and a Mexican dude, because black dudes looked at me like I was crazy. Cats I came up with. And this white dude and Mexican dude, we got it in. We didn't look at it as reparations, color, anything. It's like, let's get this paper. And because I played the American card.
Right. Yeah, let me chime in real quick. Let me chime in real quick, because the Republicans have the power to legalize marijuana on the federal level.
Say that
I
again,
don't even
Ty?
care. There's no need for him to. If you care about it and you're worried about that, you're not getting that money. I'm telling you, I've told cats.
I'm saying, why wouldn't they?
Hey, but here's the thing, Todd City. What did I tell you in Complex? Go to Oklahoma. Even MOT agreed. Go to Oklahoma. It's not the point. If you're worried about the policy, if you're screaming that forever, instead of just fuck it, just go ahead and get that paper, get in, the policy will catch up with you, you're straight.
See, okay, let me jump in here right quick.
They're not going to do it. The Republicans are not going to do it.
But who cares if they're not going to do it?
You don't know
this
that.
is the problem with black people in policy. We did this with Barack Obama. We did this with every fucking president. We're doing it right now with Donald Trump. We keep asking for shit.
No.
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
Right, we ask everybody, what have you done for us? What can you do for us? What is your agenda for us? Rather than saying, you know what, this is who we are. And this
Wait, time out. Nobody asked for anything. They just asking for them to be what the fuck they say they are. That's it. I'm not asking for shit. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy.
I'm not talking about you as an individual. I'm talking about black people. Like when we talk about presidents, even in the past, you say, oh, what did this president do for black people? What did that president do for black people? That just shows we never had an agenda. Because the real question we should be asking politicians is not what have they done for us. We should ask, are you on board with the plan we have for ourselves?
Okay.
And if you're not on board with our plan we have for ourselves, you're not getting our vote. But right now, the way we're doing it backwards. We're saying you're going to give us an offer, tell me what you're going to try to do for me, and then I'll see if I want to date you. And based off what you said.
All right, go ahead, Complex.
No, Archer, that's a very good point, right? That's an extremely good point. So what my question then is, has anybody kind of thrown out anything as comprehensive as the technocratic agenda that we put forth?
Well, Complex.
Complex, we might have to do a one-on-one on that. I really don't know what.
I want to speak to that for a second.
I think Andrew Yang was the closest.
Did you put forward an agenda that relates to policy that can be transferred over to policy as much as you put forward a future plan for our society going forward? That future plan includes it. That's what I mean. That's why I'm saying I think people really do need to get the digging, because if I'm not seeing something like that, I'm just seeing opinions and thoughts. I'm not really seeing something comprehensive.
Well, can I try something like this? Complex.
Have you tried to present some version of that plan to, let's say, at the state level?
Well, let's put it to you like this. So we had two contributors who would come on. We had two contributors that would come on to the Tech Live, the Saturday Tech Live that we were hosting. Wait, somebody's okay. We had two individuals. One named Sister Vivian, and then her husband. I can't remember his name. Both of them worked in Washington. Okay, and essentially what they were, she was a lobbyist for the tech industry. Okay, and she represented, like, over the course of her career, she represented some very high level policy dealings and worked with a lot of the top tech companies. And in our view, and I'm not even against it, but they were engaging in the conversations over there. Well, she actually even said this. They were engaging in the conversations over there to data mine, right? To form policy to take to Trump. That's what the fuck she was doing there. And if you go, I would have to dig them up, but they're there. There's a bunch of live streams where her and her husband were on them. And she's literally talking about the shit that's been going on in Washington, dead on the money, when we were related to articles and shit. And some of the shit she had to, deal with and engage with. We're talking in the halls of Congress. And she's on our fucking.
The reason why I ask is sometimes, the best way to get something or one of the most effective ways to get something on a national agenda is to demonstrate some levels of success at the local or state level.
Well, not only that. See, the thing about it is that first and foremost, we collectivized as a think tank. So if I would say that 2 years in, I've got somebody who's able to get to Trump's ear and present policy as it regards to black folks in tech.
Oh,
Well,
like Kanye?
I would say that
you're
wait,
making
hold
black
on.
folks and tech the sole thing of an agenda.
Well,
Agenda
no,
is a group of policies, not just one policy.
Archer. If you were just listening about 5 or 10 minutes ago, I laid out what the entire platform on the Brain Trust is. It doesn't simply center around tech, but we are a technocratic platform.
Okay, but then what's your? If you had the power to create the black agenda, would you have did you in the Brain Trust talk about the First Amendment, the Second Amendment? Where do you stand on that as far as what that would benefit blacks?
I'm gonna tell you like this: we didn't cover the full spectrums, the whole gamut, 600 episodes. Ty City was there on it, and while we've been on our hiatus, he's the one who's largely been carrying the mantle, putting y'all up on all this shit, the crypto shit, the First Amendment shit,
Second Amendment shit.
Second Amendment shit.
Yeah, hey, I'm finna roll out. Yeah, y'all check out how the Democrats are gonna blame black men. I got a series on that, and I also have Kanye for president. I got a series on that, and man, I just been covering this whole thing. You know, and it's almost like black men they'll do anything to just like try to use somebody else's plan. You know what I'm saying? They won't even use the plans that's already being laid out in front of them.
Come on, man.
Anyways,
all right, check out Ty City. Sub to Ty City, a moderator. If not Ty City himself, somebody drop Ty City link in there. If y'all ain't already subscribed to Ty City, y'all should.
I'm about to spam the fuck out your shit. All right, y'all.
Y'all go ahead and spam him out. Go ahead and spam him out. And Trade MBD still here. You can spam yourself out too before you take off to Trade MBD. Y'all go ahead and get your spam on. Y'all know I don't mind.
Yeah, no doubt.
But all right, where we at? Who was talking last? I was over here playing with my tablet.
I want to make one quick analysis, definition statement about what an agenda is and why agendas don't need to have the full support of everybody when they're first created. An agenda is a set of ideas that can be converted into policy that can be packaged under one agenda, title and name, and sold to the masses. No difference than liberalism, no different conservatism, anarchism, fucking interior, whatever fucking long ass word with a lot of syllables you want to throw out there. Like,
yeah, ours is called technocracy.
Right. Well, Archer.
So no, as a black man, as black people, we have a multiple set of agendas, but we have no set of agenda that is packed full of policies that cover the whole gambit from First Amendment, Second Amendment, gun rights, reparations. I mean, not reparations. Fuck that. A reproduction, all that shit. We have it packaged under one little. Put it all together and packaged under one agenda and try to sell it to the masses. Yes, we're arguing over ideas, but we as black men, there is no agenda out there that benefits black men.
Well, Archer, let me point something out to you. And I think the problem with that, and I largely agree with what you just said, but I would point out the reason for that is probably it's a problem of vision, because we've been kind of trapped in this Democrat box for so long. And I was asking this question the last time I was really getting into a debate with somebody on one of these panels, but if you're trying to sell me the Democrat Party, sell it to me without using racism, because without racism, they really have nothing. And as black people, and black men especially, we've been trapped into this box of only talking about politics, only seeing politics through this lens of racism and racial issues. But politics actually supersedes race if you really consider it. You can be fellow countrymen of different nationalities. You can be ideologically intertwined, born from different places in the world. And those ideas will live longer than any men that's in that group at that one moment. So black people have to actually we need to start with ideas first. All right. When people keep trying to bring this broad topic of policy, when it keeps coming up, I think we keep getting lost in translation, because for maybe the person saying policy, they have certain ideas fleshed out that they want to see enacted, right? But I think for the mass of black people, we need to really get down to basic ideas, like a simple conversation about civics, okay? What is the government for? What are your rights? Does the government give you rights, or is it here to defend your natural rights?
If that's where you're at, then I'm going to ask that you kindly step aside.
No, bro. What I'm trying to point out is a lot of people don't know these things. If I ask a person simply, is the government here to grant you rights, or is it here to defend your natural rights? That is a giant philosophical disagreement that will lead to wars. But if people are not willing to have the conversation,
hold on, real quick, David. Complex, you have to allow the different thoughts, the different frames of mind to get in here to prevent these arguments and these going back and forth. Oh, let's all attack the conservative on the panel. No, that's not going to work. We can have discussions, bro. You know that, man. If we're sitting here talking about cannabis, we can go back and forth and everything is peaceful. But as soon as we get into ideology, it's got to be war. That's not how we get anything done, bro.
You dropped out, Trey. Can you repeat that?
I said, if we can, me and you can sit and talk about cannabis for hours with no issue. But as soon as we talk about ideologies, conservatism versus libertarian versus liberalism, it's got to be all these arguments. And we got, let's play attack the conservative versus, you know what? Everybody, let's put everything on the table and we can discuss it and then we can move on and everybody can make their individual decisions.
Do black people have an ideology?
Well, Dre, to respond to that,
not a singular ideology, no.
Well, Trey, to respond to that though,
are you donate to yourself on your own channel?
Yeah, I didn't know if I could do that, but yeah, I'd like to shout out to Bernard Riley for sending this $20 super chat. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the love, man.
Weird shit, my dude.
No, yeah, I know. I didn't know if it was possible, so I was just fucking around and said, let me see if I can super chat myself. And yeah, there it is.
Bro, you're bored right now. You had to go do that music for this conversation. You're bored at the conversation right now, bro.
Okay, Chaos. So Trey, to answer that question, the thing was I laid out an agenda, right? I laid out an agenda that actually takes into consideration, right, the paradigm shift that we're undergoing right now, which is the fourth industrial revolution. And what happened was that we acknowledged it and then left it there and then went back to ideology. And I say, okay, well, we could start talking solution with an agenda that I actually laid out, but no, we wanted to go back to the ideology. That's the problem.
It's this, man. It's that everybody, we got a lot of brothers here in the manosphere that are coming with different ideas and ideologies. The technocrats is one thing. Myself and David, man, we're on the cultural shift path, man. And it's a thing like if you want to, I take stuff from you all, you all can take stuff from us, like get rid of the child support stuff. We're on board with that. The whole tech stuff, the future of it, we're on board with that. And then it's up to black men individually to jump on it. We got to get out this groupthink mentality.
So then my question then becomes, well, if we already know these things, why are we discussing ideology? If you already know that shit is important, wait, you want to talk about what? Fucking religion when we already know that?
No.
Really
complex.
Really?
Hey guys, hold on real quick, y'all. I got to step away for a quick second. Y'all behave yourself. Don't have a shootout when I step away. So, all right.
Complex. I need to get the answer to a question. Complex, though.
I was just saying. I was responding to Trey, but this is respectful between me and Trey, okay? But what I'm saying is that if an agenda was just laid out, how come we're not going to acknowledge it if we're going to keep saying, well, what we need is an agenda? Okay, well, there was one. I mean, are you going to analyze it? Are you going to critique it? Are you going to say, are we going to look at how it could potentially benefit?
Because here's my answer to that, Complex.
Well, there's one agenda, but that's it, right? That's what we're going to say?
Here's my answer to that, Complex, is that I listen to everything you all got to say. I listen to everything other folks say, and I take that and I run with it for what I could use myself. And the problem is that brothers, hold up real quick, the brothers are being trained by the B-Dub, who basically controls all this, to think alike. You know what? No, you can't do this. You black man, sit your ass down. You can't do that. And what's happening is we're having all these conversations, but brothers are still thinking that, but we've got to all do it together. We don't. Everybody can get in where they fit in on their own.
Okay, no, but Complex, this is my problem now.
Go ahead.
We are having a general conversation about why an agenda is important and why agenda should be your agenda and not somebody else's agenda for your community. We understand you have an agenda that you feel is best for black people, but that's a separate conversation, the one we're having. We're right now just trying to get black people to understand the fact that we need our own agenda. We can sell yours later, but right now it's just a general conversation about why having one is important and how it benefits.
Archer, so are you telling me that up until today, you just come in, You just came to that realization today, or is this what you're telling me? So now you have to talk about it because literally the light bulb just went off today.
No.
And here, Archer, here's my thing, Archer. Here's our disagreement, Archer.
Hey, Complex, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Archer, hold on, real quick. Here's the huge disagreement, Archer, is that we over here on the right believe that there shouldn't be no black agenda. It should be the American agenda. Assimilate into it and roll with the American agenda, and you'll get in it. And then you'll be able to build for others.
What?
I don't understand. I need to understand something. Can you,
wait. Chaos was trying to say something.
There's Somalis, there's groups of immigrants that's come over here lately, and they have their own agenda for their own little communities, little policies that benefits their community as far as what they're trying to do. Like, of course.
But how did they get in first? What did they do first to build for their own communities? Exactly what I just said.
Business.
But they assimilate into American ideology first, and then they bring their own peoples over and put them into it.
I don't think you think they assimilated into the American ideology more than they actually probably have.
The American
assimilated
ideology.
They did it enough so that it works for them, and that's kind of the problem. Black people are in this corner where we just don't want to do it, even though everyone else is using it to their advantage, as you tried to say.
But nobody's telling black people. I'm not okay. This is
black people are telling black people this shit. This is the problem.
But we're having the conversation about policy right now, not about whether black people are social justice warriors.
Man, I ain't talking about policy, bro. I don't discuss policy, man. I'm about the culture. I'm about the culture, bro.
Yeah, let me ask you guys a question, because listen, the conversation went off the rails a few minutes ago when I brought up a subject, and I don't want to let it go. What do you think government exists for? This is about the rights issue again, because this is how we got to the whole thing of gay rights, all right? Why does a government that exists to protect everyone equally have a special subcategory for gay rights? It shouldn't be this way, because rights exist. If you want to be gay, go be gay. But the government shouldn't exist to protect you from being gay, just like it shouldn't exist to protect me being heterosexual. It should exist so that other people don't fuck with me. And the point I'm trying to make up is, do you believe your rights come naturally, or do you believe the government is here to grant you rights?
This isn't a question of belief, bro. And
it is. Well, because if you want to talk, hold on. If black people want to talk political, if black people want to have an agenda that's politically based, we need to have an actual discussion in political philosophy. We need to be versed in what politics really is. We should have discussions about the history of ideas.
When black people talk, we gotta only care about policies that benefit all Americans, not policies that can directly benefit subsects within our community.
No, you can go that way, but the point I'm trying to make is, look. No, hold on. Fine, I'll accept you on those terms. What I'm trying to propose to you is this. If those are your set of ideas, I propose these set of ideas. Now, let's look at the history of America and black people in this country and who's fared better under what set of ideas.
So, David, the question that follows that is then after you propose the ideas, how do you propose to implement them? And then that's where you get stuck.
Do it yourself. Just go out and get it in. What is stop? Hold up, real quick. What policy is stopping anybody from individually going out and making it happen? What policy is stopping anybody?
Well, Trey, if you're talking about making cultural changes, then why engage in a political discussion then? Because the topic of this video is political based.
It's Democrats. But what are the Democrats doing right now? The Democrats are influencing black culture. The Democrats are telling everybody that criminals. Hold up, real quick. The Democrats right now are arguing that criminals, rapists, drug users, that is black culture. We will burn down, loot, riot, destroy for criminals, rapists, and murderers. That's what the Democrats is doing.
Over my mostly 60 years of living, I've heard a lot of Republicans say the same things about black people.
I was just about to give Trader MBD some pushback on that when it's not that's more.
I said right now. Hold up, y'all. Are we talking right now? 2020, September 6th, 5th, whatever it is. What is going on in this country? The country is being destroyed based on the cultural idea that pushed by one party that black people ain't shit. And then guess what? Hey, liberal white folks, guess what you do? A black criminal gets shot. Go burn down buildings in black neighborhoods.
I will give, hold on, Black Guru. I'll give you that all day. but you said something that I couldn't exactly write. At least I think you said something. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying that the Democrats are the ones that are pushing the notion that black people are criminals. Like, come on, I guess when a black person
this goes back to the 60s too.
Let me finish. When a black person gets shot by the police, warranted or unwarranted, it's always the Republicans, the Fox News, that want to bring out all the crimes he committed 10 years ago.
But here's the deal. Why wants me cake for these motherfuckers? Call him a fucking criminal and be done with it. But here's the deal. The Democrats are putting them on a pedestal. That's why it's a cultural and political issue. I didn't say anything about the past, Bernard. I'm talking about today.
No, but right now, today, with the Democrats, and by Democrats, for the sake of, we talking about media, MSNBC tries to sweep under the rug all the fuckery and bullshit. The Fox News tries to put a highlight on that shit.
So why not? Bernard, are you going to go out there and burn down a building for a rapist?
But your initial premise that you said the Democrats are pushing the idea that they're criminals. They're not. They're trying to sweep under the rug.
No.
I said
today, Bernard. Wait a minute. It's not just today. If you look back at the Democrat Party, going to like the radical era of the 60s and 70s, right? It started from then. No one was calling Dr. King a criminal. All right. Mm-hmm. Even Malcolm X, when he was actually in his prime with the NOI, they weren't trying to call those guys criminal. As militant as the NOI was at that moment in history, they weren't being tagged as criminals.
To read your history.
Hold on.
Lots of awful things said and written by Dr. King and MLK back then.
They weren't out there.
You need to read some.
Hold on. Let me explain the difference.
What building did MLK burn down? What restaurant table did MLK go flip over?
Hold on. When you go back to MLK, they were explicitly putting out the image of we are good Americans who are black and you can't treat us this way. By the time you got to the radicals in the 70s and the 60s, it became we are violent criminals and you're going to listen to us. They were all pushing the defense of people who engage in wild criminal terrorist shit. So the defense, the Democrat Party associating black people with criminality is something they've been putting on us for a long time.
All right. Let's push pause for a second. I do got to read some super chats, and I do got to pass the mic to Edward Anderson. And RBR is in the back chat. I'm gonna actually bring you up, RBR, but not right now. Just be patient.
I'm not that nigga.
Be patient. I'm gonna give him a couple minutes to see if he had his medicine today. We gonna see. All right,
Black Bernard, when you I just want to thank you, Bernard. I'm gonna dip out when RBR comes up because I can't do that. But I'll stay in the chat. I'm just saying thank you right now.
I only give RBR I give RBR. Hold on, time up. I give RBR like a 60-second monologue, maybe.
But Bernard,
and then I get rid of him. I can't let him stay on the panel. But hold on, I gotta do these super chats real quick. Yeah, Black Quizzer in the building. He says government does both. The first 10 amendments are based on God-given right. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Commandment. Okay, anyway, the first 10 amendments are based on God-given rights. Every amendment after that were tailored to particular situations. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And also Marty W in the building with a super chat. He says, Trader, you really believe that Indians owning all the gas stations is not the result of a group agenda? Raised. You ain't got to. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it.
I'll respond.
Real briefly.
Let me respond to him.
Real briefly.
First thing, for the bitch ass ad hominem, Marty W, suck my fucking dick, bitch. And here's the thing: Indians' first thing they did was assimilate business-wise into the American ideology of business principles, and then they brought their others on. That's what they did. And it's like, let me see, Nigerians did it. They're black. What's holding them back?
Well, it didn't hurt that they got a lot of favorite.
Oh, God.
And tax breaks that benefited immigrants.
Stop. That was the Trey. Trey responded. We keeping it pushing. We'll circle back to that.
Let's tell the whole truth.
If we need to. Mr. Shane Bishop said these track cons are flat out lying. Thank you for the super chat. Black Quizzer says that's incorrect. They did call MLK a criminal after he kept going to jail. That was the smear campaign. Thank you for the super chat, Black Quizard, and thank you. You always come through with the super chats. I appreciate you. We be having some good dialogues back and forth between me and you went through them super chats, and sometimes when you just drop regular comments, I tend to read them because you normally add some good shit to the conversation. But without further ado, we got to go to Hurricane Edward in the building, man. Pick it up from whatever prompted you to hop on up, man. Take it from there. Take it wherever you want to go. You got the floor.
At this point, I just saw you live, so I wasn't like particularly triggered by anything. I will say to the thing about the group economics piece, I'm definitely a believer in group economics, a practitioner of it. I will say though, is you got to look at group economics like corporations. Though the Indians, they control the motel industry at almost 48% in the United States. A lot of that, they did get some help. It ain't they just bootstrapped it together. They got some benefits, but part of it also that allowed them to do what they did was the culture of how they do business. And you see that to this day. So it is a part of that too, but the other part of it is just as true as far as they have a culture issue, and black people for some reason don't have that issue because we're too busy warring with our women because our women want to do their own shit. Now, as far as the Democrat-Republican thing, let me be very clear here. The Republicans do not have your best interests at heart, and the Democrats don't have your best interests at heart. The reason why you tend to hear me talk more about the Democrats is because black people tend to want to give Democrats a fucking pass. The reality is both of them, black people are really more traditionally conservative than they are not. That's just a fact. We just are. And there are certain things that even if you say the Republicans, if the Republicans say, I'm not going to do shit for your ass, and then I say, tell a black person why you should vote for them, what I'm going to say is, number one, you should pay attention to your local politics first. But as far as the national level, black people are not for it. For the black men across the board are not for heterosexual black men are not for LGBT shit. They're just not. We can much agree on that across the board. We have certain things the LGBT community does to specifically attack us as heterosexual black males, keeping us out of corporations. They are in the buffer class that pretty much fucks with us. As far as black people and immigrants, when you look at a lot of the skills that we do have, like in the labor force, such as landscaping, blue collar work, auto mechanic work, economic competitive with a lot of these groups that come over here that deal in those markets, mainly Hispanics with most of those groups. So we have no real reason to give a fuck about immigration because it does not benefit black men. It doesn't benefit black people, but it doesn't benefit black men. Also, furthermore, when you look at all of the racial shit that the Republicans do, the Democrats are equally racist. The difference is the Republicans are overt, the Democrats are covert. The reality is black people are going to easier respond to overt racism than they are covert racism. So actually, I would argue the Democrats are a little bit more poisonous in that sense. Because you can sue Republicans for doing shit. If they sit there and they fuck with your rights, you can sue their ass. Versus Democrats, it's harder to find because they do shit that's much more subtle. And this includes in states that you would otherwise not think are racist, such as Washington state and stuff like that. There's a lot of insidious shit. And but the thing about it is where I kind of push back against a lot of dudes that want to push Republicans is it's kind of California as well. But where I push back against a lot of dudes that like to push a lot of Republican shit is they try to take the nuance out of it and they just try to say, well, the Republicans are going to be your salvation. No, the fuck they're not. These motherfuckers, I've seen how they act towards Senator Tim Scott. They do not respect him. Racism is a American issue. It's in both parties. It just manifests in different ways. So who the fuck do you vote for? Well, right now, me personally, black people have more cachet in the Democratic Party. But one thing you have to do is you have to teach the Democrats that these motherfuckers can't win without us. So you can either stay your ass home, which I recommend you just vote local and just not vote for president, or what you can do is vote Republican, if for nothing else, as a protest vote. Because and if you're a black person, hold on, I'll say this and I'm done. If you're a black, me personally, I think Ohio's going to be who determines the next president. I think Florida's going to go red. I think Ohio's going to be the one that could flip both ways, depending on how these white folks are. So if you're a black person and you live in Arizona, you live in Ohio, you live in Michigan, you live in Pennsylvania, you all have the opportunity to really tell the Democrats where to fucking go. Last thing I'm gonna say too is the one thing that wasn't said in this I got you, but the one thing that wasn't said in this whole conversation was black people have to learn how to start voting more in primaries. Because that's where you are most ability to affect a lot of these politicians in a negative way. We got to stop waiting to the general. But anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Hey, real quick. Hey, I'm out of here, Bernard. I just want to say thank you. And everybody check out, the Hood Conservatives live tonight. Myself, David, Hood Conservative, coming in from New York. And Hey, y'all, this is what it is, man. It's a cultural thing. You know, if you want to get this paper and get this money, and you tired of freaking Democrats dancing all up in your live streams, come over to the right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Come over to the conservative side. You know, it ain't about Republicans and Democrats being conservative. It's about being conservative. You know what I'm saying? Put that red hat on. You know what I'm saying? And rock with us, y'all. It is what it is.
Okay, yeah. I don't agree because I don't know. I just don't agree with the cheerleading shit because my thing is both parties don't give a fuck about black people. They don't give a fuck about black men. And this idea
it ain't about parties, man. It ain't about parties.
Yes, it is. Because then you wouldn't say fuck Democrats then. But go ahead.
Parties, man. I'm out,
y'all.
y'all.
Let me ask you a question. Ed, here's the question I need to really get fleshed out. The male agenda, like that the manosphere kind of discusses, even if you take black women off the table, right? The immigration aspect, the small business aspect of it. Where can we get the anti-rainbow stuff? Like, where can we find any kind of landing in the Democrat Party for any sort of pro-male pushback?
I didn't say. Because you said we had.
You said. Well,
hold on. When I said we, I meant black people. Let me be clear. When I said we, I meant black people in general.
Hold on. You said black people in general, right? But I pulled it out to black men because here's the issue: when you say black people in general, as far as Democrats are concerned, black people are women and children. Black men don't exist as black people inside of the group of black people.
Well, I mean, this is what the simple answer is. The simple answer is black men, honestly, black men shouldn't participate. Black men should not participate in the political process. What black men need to do is understand that your money care as a group, which is a different problem because we got a lot of black men that buy into the gynocracy. So we got to separate them. But you have to understand there's two ways to participate in the political process. Economically, the Asians don't vote their way to what they have. They don't have the numbers. They pay. And then fucking economically. And then there's the voting part. But the voting part doesn't work. It doesn't work for black men. So the real answer is stay your ass home or focus on your local shit, focus on your state shit. Like, for example, I'm probably going to be voting for the Democratic senator in the state of North Carolina because Tillis is one of the main ones that's against legalizing marijuana. He's against legalizing marijuana and some other shit that he's done. And I'm talking about I don't smoke weed. I'm talking about marijuana for economic purposes because of taxation. I don't do drugs. But my point is, Tillis has also raised taxes, in a lot of ways, so even Republicans, like for instance, in my state, which my state is going red anyway, so nationally it doesn't matter. But my point is that to answer your question simply, black men really shouldn't even vote. And I don't agree they should vote for Democrat in that way, and they really should participate economically in the election, meaning we need to start supporting the people that represent our interests. For instance, Dr. Tommy Curry represents our interests, Tiasan Johnson, people that can speak to our interests, people that have demonstrated in state politics and in national politics, they can speak to our interests. Shit, as far as I'm fucking concerned, your ass might as well vote for Kanye West. Vote for Kanye West for the simple fact that Kanye West has at least mentioned Dr. Claude Anderson. That's a better vote than
my
Biden.
Third choice, man.
All right. Real quick. Damn, that shut down on me. He says you'll never have a Black Wall Street when you have, that's Azrael 6394. You never have Black Wall Street when you have baby mama in WAP culture. Family is the first business you manage. That's what y'all don't get. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And also, let's see who else we got in here. I think Trader MBD dropped a super chat on as well to those. Thanks, I appreciate that. He said, "Hood conservatives rise up, Trump 2020." Mr. Shane Vicious says, "That's a proud conservative shine right there." I don't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but Bernard, one other thing I wanted to throw out there is you can be a conservative without being a fucking Brandon Tatum. Like there's two types of conservatives. There's two types of conservatives. You have hyper assimilationists and you have what I call traditional black male conservatives. This is typically dudes that's gonna not really be for the gay shit, not be really for the whole shit. As far as women, the wide shit. But what happens is that shit gets merged. So it becomes this Trump fanboy, whoever's running for the Republican Party. I know people that voted for George W. Bush. I have black business mentors that voted for George W. Bush that says Trump is the worst thing in the world. They don't like Biden either, but because they didn't like Kerry, but they think Trump is the worst person in the world. Glenn Cameron does not like Donald Trump, and he's a businessman from the T to T. So this idea of what conservative is, quite frankly, needs to be redefined because it's different. There's the campaigning, cheerleading conservatives. You've got the fucking Blexit, fucking immigrant conservatives where they don't give a fuck about black people anyway. They just want to be like white folks. Then you've got like the traditional black conservatives. You got the hyper assimilationist motherfuckers, which you see a lot of the SYSBM folks in, but see a lot of them could be liberals too. So because they trying to protect their mixed shit. This is where they start protecting Democrats for no reason because they don't see as the conservatives really validating that. So it's a lot of stuff that splits other than
what you're
quote unquote
describing,
hood
though?
conservative.
It's what you're describing right now.
Ed, you probably wouldn't listen at the beginning, but I did touch on that. How the black Make America Great Again hat wearing dude is he looks goofy to me. No offense if anybody, I don't know if, but yeah, I'm a traditional conservative. I don't have tattoos. I don't smoke like that. I don't drink like that. This is what motherfuckers would try to call. I'm not really a Carlton, but motherfuckers try to call a lame or something like that. That's what a lot of black folk and that's another. It goes back to what dude said about the WAP shit and all that shit. They see a Democratic Party associating with attitudes and behaviors that long term fucks up black people. And my thing is, look, I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna shame a bitch for being a hoe, but the thing is that shit is getting to the point where it's like zombies, where it's just overtaking everything, and that is becoming black culture. It's one thing for that to be compartmentalized, but now that shit, but Republicans are not gonna solve that problem. Because they're invested in that problem being there.
No. You're stating the problem kind of incorrectly if you think of it that way. The Republicans' job is not to solve your social problems. That's your job on the ground as
they're not going to create. Hold on. No, their job is to their job is to create laws that like, for instance, if I say what would I be voting Republican? What would I say to Republicans based on what I know they can do? I would say, what about marriage reform? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna ask them nothing. It's not all lives matter. Everything that I say is going, even the reparations thing, I could argue from an American standpoint because I'm like, China's in Africa. We need to get in Africa. African Americans are the best way to get your interest into Africa. And then that's just facts. You could the AFRICOM needs to stop being in fucking Germany, and then it needs to be somewhere where you all set a base up. Liberia is where we had a history of good. So let us get there. You get some Negroes to get out of your neighborhoods and shit. You can kind of kill two birds with one stone. That's how I would present that. But my point is, marriage reform is something that Republicans need to deal with.
Would make a big hit on the WAP culture.
Exactly, and that is stuff that Republicans have already demonstrated in their platform that they would do. So my question is, why aren't you notice how you never see any white Republican women giving back rights that they got from the liberal females?
Here's the thing right here. Listen, let me jump in. You gotta actually have the male voice. Black men, that's where I'm telling you, that's where black men come at. They're not gonna come at black men the way they come at white men openly, because now we get to play the race card on them. Oh, you just don't like me because I'm black. You don't want to see a black man shine. You don't want to see a black man lead his family. We get to smack them in the face with the race card once they do that, but we just not embracing that kind of vision.
That's smart. White guys start dick measuring.
What?
But the thing about the Republicans,
whenever black men have a prominent place in the Republican Party,
Black Guru, explain what you meant by the white guy start dick measuring. I
know what he meant, but why do we care?
Let's take what's happening in the virtual manosphere. Like BGS said, the reason why he created IPMOR was because of all the hate that he got from the white guys in MGTOW. And that's a microcosm.
Hold on. Think about it.
Between white men and black men, whenever black men begin to ascend to a competitive level in any organization, then the dick measuring starts. and then the insecurity starts, and then the sabotaging starts.
You're right, Black Guru, but this is how you. But this hold on. This is how you counter that. You counter that because at this point, this is starting to affect them too. The reason they have a manosphere is because their white privilege is no longer protected. Unless you're in the top 10%, unless you're in the top 10% of white people, white men, your white privilege no longer protects you against that. Right. So they could play that game back when the blue collar dude could still get over with the unions and stuff. But basically, the Democrats have pretty much traded the unions in for the tech companies. So they've already been, those are a lot of your Trump supporters. So my point is, I'm not saying to become a Republican. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, they have an invested interest of solving these problems because now the benefits that they got from you being fucked over is now has completely jumped onto them, and they don't know what the fuck to do. So things like marriage reform would help more white men than it would black men because black men get fucked up with child support. White men actually get fucked up with alimony. So there's nothing that I'm asking that we would not benefit from that they already don't need to already do. It's just why the fuck haven't they not done it? All right.
Hold on, real quick. I gotta move on. But far as what Black Uru said about them, if black men start doing what David Monroe said, then white men will get mad because they'll see black men as it. Who gives a fuck? Like that's not a reason to not do it. That's a possible thing that may be a possible hurdle down the road. Once we make a lot of progress, let's make the fucking progress before we worry about a hurdle that we can jump over.
I don't recall arguing that. I do not recall arguing.
Let me reframe it.
Hold on, real quick. We gotta move along. Fast Tech Tough says the Black Community is my recovery. SYSBM. Thank you for the super chat. BMT in the building. He says shout out to King Face from the Blexic MAGA reformed Pookie that passed around. Hey, just a fuck. HIV and other conservative blacks don't want to talk about that. I have no idea what he's talking about, but
I see what he's talking about.
But more importantly, thank you for that super chat, BMT. And Nomadic Career came through with a heavy-handed super chat. I appreciate that. He says, as long as we leave the Democrats, we'll figure our mess out later. Wow.
I don't disagree with that, at least temporarily. I definitely don't agree. I definitely don't disagree with that.
I want to respond to what Ulu was saying real quick.
We got to do something very important here because everybody been up here lying. We got to hear the truth. So we go into RBR real quick.
Nigga, go to hell for that. You just throw gasoline on the fire. You gonna regret that. But go ahead, it's your show.
Real quick, go ahead, RBR. You got it.
All right. Well, thank you for having a real brother on. The real brother rule is when you have to have at least one real brother on the panel. You guys haven't been adhering to that. But I do disagree with everything that is being said about these Nazis. There's nothing more important in our society than not putting people in charge of our society, in charge of our federal government, who hate us and want to kill us. White people are 20% of the U.S. population. Why in the fuck should they get to kick 80% of the people out of the country? So that
you said white people are 20%?
20%.
Okay, carry on. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. What? If we put people in charge of our government who hate us, who want to kill us, who want to shoot us in the back 7 times, who want to deny us our rights, who want to deny us our freedoms, who think that we're animals, we would have to be some fucking idiots. So what you guys are doing is you think that you're doing what Alan Roger Curry does. Make enough money to be able to buy some woman and then take care of your family and fuck the whole race and fuck the whole shit. Now, what a better thing would be is what Obama did. Obama gave the top 1% of whites $4 trillion. He extended the Bush tax cuts for 2 years, and he bailed out the banks in Wall Street and GM. Have they kicked me off already? Have they kicked me off? I know they're scared of the truth.
No, keep rolling, bro. Keep going.
Keep talking. You got like 10 seconds.
That's all, folks. All right, so he kicked me off, but I just wanted to say a little bit of truth before you went back to lying to me.
All right.
What the entire fuck just happened?
We gotta ignore it. We gotta ignore it. We gotta ignore it.
We heard the truth. All right, now.
But Bernard, question: did that dude pay super chat to get in RBR?
Ed, you could have stuck around, man. I give RBR 60 seconds.
Black Uru, I want to actually respond to that thing you laid out, because I think that what you just touched on is actually probably a critical issue for Black men. It's like the final frontier, the manosphere. And Trey actually mentioned in the chat, he said, explain Coach Greg Adams. What makes you think that a Black man with the proper message can't actually get a common following amongst like regular white guys? You have more support than you might think. I just think Black men have to try to dip their toe in the water to see what's out there. Don't try to sell them a message of like, I'm Black and what's this BLM shit, like, Black Lives Matter, but fuck your life. Like, that's a losing hand. Listen, we're all men. We have the common problems of men right now. Most men suffer under the same kind of shit we talk about in the manosphere. That's why the Black manosphere exists parallel to the white manosphere, because we have the similar problems. So if we have similar problems, we have a similar political cachet. I'm telling you, the issue is a matter of imagery. We need to actually be the ones to say this shit has to stop here.
Well, David, let me tell you something. I recently, and this is probably going to support what you just said. I recently attended a gathering of about 24 or so, kind of dinner thing. And there were about 12, including myself, about 12 Black men there. And we got into a vigorous discussion about politics. And, brothers, mostly college educated, mostly college graduates, mostly six figures or close to that in terms of annual earnings. And I would say probably half of the brothers there were either pro-Trump or open to the possibility of supporting voting for Trump in November. So regardless of what I really think, I expect it to be an electoral landslide for Trump in November. I think it's pretty much a done deal. And I don't think there's any change in it between now and November. You're talking about less than a couple of months. So I think we're going to get the chance to see what your guy do with another 4 years.
Well, it's bigger than Trump, though, and that's why I keep trying to say, like, if Black men see ourselves as having any kind of political capital, we need to spend it in a more productive fashion, and we're going to waste our chips spending it with the Democrats. The Democrats have been consumed by this BLM insanity at this moment. Like, look at Joe Biden and Kamala. They can't really speak honestly about what's going on. They can't speak honestly to male interests, let alone what's a crisis in this country right now. So, like, Black men, we have a lot of cachet, but it's just simple. The Democrats don't want our money anymore.
Well, my question is this: what's up to the panel? And thanks, Bernard, for having me.
Hey, Shango.
Yeah, they know me from BGS side. That's where I'm coming from and shit. So, my question is this: who are the Black people voting for these Democrats? There are a certain type of Black people. We understand that shit. Like many brothers have said on this joint before, we're ahead of the Black community in general with our talking points and whatnot. So if we know that, we can guide and direct Black people. But I do not think leading them down a so-called right-wing path or whatever, not saying you guys are doing that, but some people are advocating for that. Leading them down a right-wing path is not necessarily a good idea. It's the same vein of thought as the Al Sharptons and the others leading us down the left path. You feel me? I agree with the brothers on the panel that say we should do a non-partisan thing. We should do an independent thing. It should be a Black thing. It should be an American thing because we are the true Americans. It should be a lot of these things tied in. Yeah, technocracy. That works. That's one of the plans that we can implement along with many others. That's all I wanted to say on that.
Yeah, Complex, when you talk about that technocracy, I think, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, I think most people don't know exactly what it is, and we can thumb through a lot of Black Brain Trust streams and kind of get an idea of it, but I do want to do a one-on-one with you about that. I do want you to really lay that out, because, I mean, I know you're talking some good stuff, but yeah, I'll email you and we'll figure out. I mean, you are down to do a one-on-one about that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll email you and we'll figure out a time. I know I got a one-on-one already scheduled for Monday and Thursday, so hopefully maybe we can get in Tuesday.
No, we would have to do like a weekend thing.
Oh, okay.
you already know I'm on the West Coast.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it would have to be the weekend.
Cool. It could be next Saturday or next Sunday or something like that.
Just I'm good for next weekend, man. Just hit me up.
All right, cool. We'll get it in. All right.
I like to say I think what's often
Jordan, real quick before you go, Black Uru, Mr. Shane Vicious, I caught you red-handed deleting somebody just because you didn't like their opinion. I caught you red-handed. I got my little tablet now. I'm watching. I gotta cut that shit out. All right, anyway. Go ahead, Black Uru.
Well, I think what's often somewhat missing from these discussions is sort of an assignment of priority of certain things, both in the short term and the long term. I mean, when we talk about issues of agenda or platform or whatever, and things are mentioned as a part of these formulations of thought or ideas or programs of thought and idea, we never assign any particular priority or points of emphasis to any of those items. Part of what should be included in our electoral decisions and or political decisions is, what is the most important issue? What's the most immediate issue that must be solved now? And then maybe what is more of a midterm or 4-year objective or 5, 10, or 20-year objective. Some of the things that really concern us, unfortunately, may not necessarily have an actual tangible effect until the next generation. And then some things may actually indeed affect us in a very short term and within like the next fiscal year. So I think we need to really kind of focus on, okay, what's gonna move the needle? What's gonna be the first step in the critical path to where we're trying to get to ultimately?
That's oh, go ahead, brother.
Well, I'm just saying, I think as we have these conversations, we should start to talk more about that kind of thing. I have my ideas about some of that kind of thing, but I would definitely appreciate other brothers saying, okay, what should we do now? What should be the numero uno? If we only have 2 things we can get done in this next presidential cycle, what should those be?
Y'all can go first.
Yeah, anybody can go on that.
What was the question?
I think a more pressing issue from. I was going to try to take a stab at it. I think one of the more pressing issues we could stab at that would have a long-lasting effect is probably something like school reform. We should actually try to bring back more vocational training. We should probably try to reorganize the way schools are funded so that like I'm talking about the higher levels, like at the college level, because we have this giant imbalance right now where we're essentially funneling women through the university system, and we're neglecting male prospects from the university angle. So we need to kind of redress that imbalance there, right? It doesn't make any sense on the one hand.
At the primary and secondary level, even before college.
This is all under the whole idea of school reform. So there's like the local level of, like at the high school level, you want to have things where it's like vocational training. You want to have something a little bit more male centered, or at least have departments that, focus more on the male need, because that's really what's been happening at the school level with all this money that does get poured into the schools for whatever reasons and whatever places. Across the board, male achievement is lagging way behind female achievement. And I think it's mostly it's policy effects. There's been a lot of changes in the way that we educate our kids that have been designed to boost the female interest and tamp down the male interest. So we have to actually redress some of these things on a ground level. So the school at the ground level is one thing. And then at the university level, we need to readdress the funding issue. So we can't just be flooding women all over the place. And then frankly, a lot of these people out here right now protesting, a good amount of them are people who've got like useless degrees in college. So we need to address that. People shouldn't be getting paid free money to go to college and get a degree that is almost guaranteed to not employ you. If you're going to get money for something, the government should give money to people who are going to be of use. All right. It should go to things like the tech industry. It should go to things like, more vocational training, even at the higher end. So you can get guys in like journeyman programs and things like that. You can get master electricians and that sort of thing. If the government's going to spend money on people's like abilities, it should cater to people who are going to be most effective. You can't just say, here's a pot of money and you can go take basket weaving. Here's a pot of money and you can go, you can be a fucking professional poet. Like, no, the government shouldn't just be giving everyone money so you can fuck it off on your wildest hopes and dreams. If you're gonna get money from the government, it should support certain things.
All right, go ahead, Complex. But real quick before I ask you, Complex, Brilliance.
I know what Complex gonna do here.
Brilliance came through with a super chat. He says, "Reclaim and conserve the black family." Yeah, that's a good response to what is you niggas trying to conserve anyway. All right. Thanks for the super chat. But go ahead, Complex. You got it.
Yeah. That and what that guy's talking about is cultural conservatism, right? Which has, again, you have to separate cultural conservatism from economic and political conservatism, right? Because you're injecting ideologies into something where it doesn't belong. But it's funny that you said that the government should actually be dumping money into the tech sector, right? Vis-a-vis educational programs, particularly for black males. You're starting to sound like a technocrat, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Like hypocrisy stuff there.
I'm a pragmatic person, bro. If your idea functions, if there's practical effects to your idea, I'm not going to take it off the table because it's under the cloud of this thing I don't like. I will extract that from all the other stuff I disagree with.
So David, this is the reason why I always pound you over the head about being highly disingenuous with me, because good and goddamn well we've been saying this shit for over 2 fucking years now. If you've been listening,
disingenuous about what exactly? No, be specific.
About no, because you come at me, you'll sit up here and say, "Oh, you're defending democratic policies and this and that," but then you turn around and you literally lay out the fucking platform that we've been sitting here pushing for the last 2+ fucking years.
And hold on. Stop right there. Stop right there. That is not what happened, bro. When I came on and I started out, and I'll say again, what have Democrats done for us? No. What have Democrats done for us? The question of what, bro, the question of what have Democrats done?
Oh shit! No, what did you just say?
Go ahead, David.
The question of what Democrats, the question of what Democrats have done for us is what sets you off. What else are you defending if you're upset at that question?
Here we go, Bernard.
No, play the fucking tape. I asked the question and you lost your fucking mind.
Here we go.
I asked the question, all right, let's try this. Let's try it this way. What Democrats have invested in black men? Since your ideas are so useful, since your ideas are so dear to you, where are the Democrats investing in black men? Where are the Democrats investing your ideas, bro? Even I'll adopt one of your ideas. Well, the fucking Democrats don't want you.
Oh, bullshit. I just told you I'm a fucking independent. Don't try that shit with me.
So what? So when I say Democrats, shut the fuck up.
No, bro.
No. When I'm talking about Democrats, don't start crying and then say, "Oh, I'm not a Democrat."
Oh, hold up.
No, bullshit. Stop it.
Now you're independent. Now you're independent.
No.
Talk shit about Democrats. You pipe up, bro.
Wait.
Listen. When somebody's defending, when somebody's out there defending midget fucking jockeys, I don't say shit because I got no horse in the fight about midget jockeys. But when I talk about Democrats, you always got something to say.
That's not what he was doing this time.
You're done.
Sometimes the other guy is right.
All right. I want to hear Complex give a full response. David, let him get it off. I try to, for the most part, let you get yours off uninterrupted. Go ahead, Complex.
Here's what the fuck he just did. He just laid out the technocratic platform and then turned around and said that I'm defending the Democrats. Get the fuck out of here. Get the entire fuck out of here. Right? Get out of here, David. Bullshit.
Do you believe in linear time?
No.
You understand how linear time works, right? We were having a conversation then, and now you're trying to say I'm talking about it now.
Bernard, I'm trying to respond.
Like we're going 1 to 10, and you skip 4, 5, and 6.
Quiet.
Complex, go. I thought you were done.
No,
I thought you was done. Complex. Go ahead. You got it. You got it.
I ain't hardly done with this nigga right about now, right? Because
Hard R. Look, only Democrats use the hard R. God damn, my nigga, what happened? What happened, my nigga? You pulled out your white privilege on me?
Mute this nigga. I muted
him. All right. You did put a hard ER on there.
No,
go ahead,
he's fucking done. He's fucking done. He's fucking toast. I've been hitting him with this fucking policy shit for, I don't know, the last 2 fucking months. And then he turned around and tried to sell me the same shit that the Brain Trust been trying to sell his punk ass when he comes up on our fucking platform to fucking debate with us. Man, you better get the entire fuck out of here, bro.
All y'all talk is UBI.
You are done.
Y'all
You are
push
done.
you.
Get the fuck out of here.
David!
You're done. You're done.
Yeah, I knew you.
Bro, hold on. Cut the bullshit.
When you mentioned tech, I knew you had messed up.
Why is it messed up for the government to invest in its citizens for something
because
productive?
the man had already presented.
No, we argue about UBI on his platform. No, stop that. We argue about UBI on his channel. He doesn't argue with me about this shit on his fucking channel. He doesn't never argue with me about investing in black men on his channel. This nigga got a cape on long as shit all of a sudden. Bro, you go to your channel, y'all niggas talk about giving away free money. UBI is what you argue with me about. This is the first time we talk about investing in black men. So don't hit me with that shit because you got a million videos.
All right. This is what I'm hearing happen, as far as I can tell. All right. David did talk about investing in tech, but he's talking about doing it in a way that would benefit black men. David, are you arguing that they're just talking about tech in a more broad way? But you are
for one, if you look up technocratic, the first thing you'll pop up under the definition is technocratic socialism. Second of all, when we argue on his channel, we've been arguing about UBI. We have not argued about him promoting programs for black men. Why would I disagree with just that?
Stop right there. Stop right there. Go ahead, Complex.
God, dude. Oh my God. Do you know how many live? No. Do you know?
So play.
No, David. Shut up, David. Shut up. Because you know what? This is where I've lost all respect for this dude, right? What respect I had, it's now gone. Because now what he just did, he just pulled the most disingenuous fucking move ever and basically said that the Brain Trust doesn't do anything to help black men. I can't fucking believe he just said this to me. Now,
did I actually say those words?
No, David, mute,
what words did I say that sounded like that?
David, shut the fuck up.
That's what I'm saying.
Dick riding chaos.
You're done, bro. You're done. You're fucking done, bro. You're fucking done. Okay?
All right.
You're done. Now check this out. Now, I don't know how many live streams we've done on IT certifications. A lot of the brothers that are actually in the chat right now, right, have participated in those. A lot of brothers have basically gone on to pursue certifications, and some of them have actually acquired them. We've had some brothers who have actually gotten high-paying jobs and credited us for it. Okay, I did a live stream explaining how to build an electric car. In that live stream, I talked about an investment mechanism. You see, so that would be a way for brothers to actually invest in another brother who has the ability to create these types of things. Now, that whole model you can actually apply to anything. I just happen to be into micro transport, electric vehicles, and IoT technology. Right? So I applied it to what I knew, but I gave out a platform, basically a process here where you could do just that. I am so fucking sorry, dude, but this guy, David Monroe, is the most disingenuous motherfucker in the manosphere, hands down. And for you to call into question literally the very nature of why the Black Brain Trust exists, I'm pulling your wrench, motherfucker. Don't you ever come to that platform again.
Facts.
All right, David. All right, hold on. There you go. My fault. I unmuted you. There you go. You got to.
And we do, David.
Okay, listen.
Go ahead and respond, David. Let's keep it clean, and then we're gonna keep it moving. I'm actually down at 3 anyway, so I'm gonna give you.
All right, no profanity. No profanity, no ad hominems, none of the slurs and slanders. I will just remind you all of this. Everything has been recorded. So even though they haven't played a video since I got on a panel and pointed out all of their ideas have no home to land in politically, because everything you want to do for black men, you can't get done with the Democrat Party, which is where most of you guys are leaning. Last time we had this debate, I haven't seen you guys put out a video.
Let him go.
You gotta let him go.
Last time I was on your channel, you haven't put out a video since then. And as far as you and I disagreeing, Complex, we've never had a disagreement about your programs. I actually don't even really get on your panels when you're having these tech things. I'll listen for a little while because I don't disagree with you giving out actual factual information about running a business or learning skills. Our disagreements have been about your basic UBI stuff. And then when I started talking about conservative policies, you've never presented to me some kind of program that benefits black men directly and gotten pushback from me about that. You're up here huffing and puffing about some shit that don't exist. I don't disagree with the one thing. Talk about the thing I do disagree with. That's the only thing we ever fucking argue about on your platform. All the millions of panels you've done about tech this, tech that, I've never argued with you about tech shit. I don't know tech shit that much. Why would I fucking argue with you about something I don't know that much?
Right, this ain't your venue.
Play the tape. Play the tape. Play the tape. That's all I want to hear is play the tape. Since I'm so wrong, you got footage, nigga. Play the tape.
Check this out, Dave. You ain't built. Ultimately, you're not fucking built to do any kind of anything out in the real world. Get the fuck out of here.
Just play the tape. Stop talking.
We're gonna call it right there on that part of the debate. I think everybody said what needed to be said. ARC, thank you for the super chat. He said, I appreciate how you swiftly dealt with RBR. RBR gets 60 seconds, 2 minutes tops, 60 seconds minimum to come on and talk about the Russians and all kind of other shit before I play the. That's all, folks. Anyway, so he was out of there anyway, but that sealed the deal when he tried to say some bullshit about you. But anyway, I saw Mr. Palmer in the building, man. We do for another one-on-one as well. You can drop your link right now, get people over there because you're definitely doing the Lord's work as well over there with your channel called I don't know if it's called Fuck Child Support, but that's definitely your moniker. But holla at check out Mr. Palmer. Somebody could drop his link in there. I'm gonna email you today after the show. I got a lot of emails to send. Floyd L. Host said, if it wasn't for the Black Brain Trust, I wouldn't never signed up for the Linux Foundation cloud developer course. I got it a discounted price too. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that you signed up for that and the Black Brain Trust connected you with that. That's pretty damn cool. That's what it's all about. JJ in the building. Shit, when I look at the screen for 3 hours, I can't fucking see. I think I need glasses. The screen getting blurry. He said, what the Dems done, not what you done. I could barely even see that shit. Shit. Thanks, JJ, for that super chat. And also, I think that's it on the super chats.
Hey, Bernard.
Who's that? Chaos?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Chaos. You ain't even really got a chance to speak, so we about to get off here pretty soon. You can go ahead and take us home, man.
The end of this year is gonna be very interesting for Black people, especially us men, man. What we do is going to be the pinnacle of what's going to happen to us in the next decade. How this all plays out, it's going to have to tell it. Are we going to be organized and get our shit together as clique of men, or are we going to get what we get right now? We debate over this conservative, non-conservative, and it hasn't got us nowhere. We got to be organized to what the hell we really want and go push on from there. All this other shit about, what other Black men doing. I mean, it sounds nice, but until it affects us as a collective here in this country, it's irrelevant. You're going to see other race people that's going to shoot us down in our backs, smile on our face, do all this type of shit to us. And we're just going to sit back and keep our hands full and say, we're just going to leave it to these people to fix the problem. And we know throughout history, that is not the case. So the best we could do is get our shit together, organize, work with whoever wants work, and move on from there. Because all this back and forth doesn't benefit us. And I would agree with Edward saying about the thing with the marriage thing. That has to be addressed because a lot of Black men, because we're not married like that in percentage. If we get that on the grips, I think that's a step. It won't be a solution, but that'll be a step. Not saying most brothers going to get married still anyway, because 29%, you're not getting shit anyway from under 30%. But fixing that equation, is one big lift. And that's how I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. Like to thank everybody who came through today. Thanks for joining the panel. I can't even tell exactly what your name is down there. Shango the Eternal. Thank you for coming up. Come again. You didn't get to say a whole lot, but yeah, definitely come again. But I'd like to thank everybody who like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and I also gotta thank my man Nomadic Career, I think that's your name. And yeah, you got a range over here. Crier. I can't see it from here either way. I said it wrong even when I could see it. So Nomadic Crier. Thank you for your super chat. You dropped a $100 heavy-handed super chat. So you're the sponsor of the show today. The show today was brought to us by Nomadic Crier. So thank you for that. I appreciate everybody who came through, and we are out of here. We can continue this conversation, hopefully get a little more clarity next time. But with that said, we are out of here. Peace.
What's next? On Tuesday or Monday?
Peace. I'm sorry, say that again.
On Tuesday and Monday, the next stream.
Oh, we going Monday. Got a one-on-one cut to the chase on Monday. So me and Cut to the Chase will be getting
all right. That's
on
cool.
Monday. Yep. So